Hello, Madi. Hello.
Yes, Hasta, good to go.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to yet another webinar organized by the Mangalore branch of SIRC of ICAI. First of all, wishing you all a very happy Investor Week 2020. And on this occasion, the Mangalore branch has organized a very unique webinar called the Investor Awareness Program. This webinar is completely different compared to all the other webinars organized by them previously. But before we go ahead, let's all seek the blessings of the Almighty. May I request my friend and colleague CA Soumya Kamath to please lead us into prayer. Over to you, Soumya.
Yeah, am I audible, Hasta?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Yeah. इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। दूर अज्ञान की हो अंधेरे, तो हमें ज्ञान की रोशनी दे। हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम, जितनी भी दे बने जिंदगी दे। वैर होना किसी का किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। थैंक यू हस्ता।
Thank you so much, Soumya. That was truly devotional. The ICAI motto song, with its grand meaning, has been a source of inspiration for all the members of the ICAI. Let's all listen to our motto song now.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति, येष सुप्तेषु जागृति। कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः। तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा। तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनाच्यर्यकश्चनान्यपि कश्चन। एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता।
And now for the formal welcome. May I request our chairman, CA SS Nayak, to please welcome the guests and all our viewers today.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Over to you, sir.
I am audible now.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Respected chief guest of today's webinar, Mr. Mohit Bhatia, Head Sales and Marketing, Canara Robeco Mutual Fund, Mumbai. And Speaker Trios, Mr. Tejasan, Assistant Manager in NSDL Karnataka, Mr. Himanshu Srivatsava, Manager Business Development South Region, National Stock Exchange, and Mr. Mohit Mehra, Business Analyst, Zerodha Broking Limited. My fellow colleagues in the committee, my brothers and sisters, members, and my entire CA Parivar, and all other professors of various professors and deans of various B schools, and all my dear investors. Wish you all happy World Investor Week 2020. It gives me immense pleasure to present before you three topics of today's importance on the eve of this World Investor Week 2020. The first topic will be presented by very young and energetic young star who is the Assistant Manager of NSDL Karnataka, Mr. Tejas Yan. Tejas, the name itself speaks sharpness, brightness, and gives lot of light. That means we are expecting lot of light and lot of sharing of the information on the topic Introduction to Securities Markets and Demat of Shares. So I welcome Mr. Tejas N for our this virtual CPE meeting. There is a saying, while training a person, one should generate more light than heat. We hope Tejas will generate more light than heat by his brightness. The second speaker of the today's on the second session is Mr. Himanshu Srivatsava. Himanshu Srivatsava is a manager, business development, South region of National Stock Exchange. He will be covering the topic ecosystem of Indian capital market and career opportunities for professionals. Himanshu, the name itself says Himanshu means moon. Whenever moon comes, so there will be always coolness. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Chandanam Shitalam Loke Chandanadapi Chandrama Chandra Chandanayor Madhye Shitala Sadhu Sangati. The meaning of this is Chandanam Shitalam Loke. That means Srigandha or Chandana. That is the most coolest thing in our universe. Chandanadapi Chandrama. The presence of moon, that to full moon, it makes more cool. Chandra Chandanayor Madhye Shitala Sadhu Sangati. In between, that means when we compare to this moon and Srigandha or Chandana, so the people with abundant knowledge, they will be, or that Sajjana, that means respected people in the field of knowledge, they will be respected more. Today we are having all the three speakers, they will be very much respected. Then the third session, investment opportunities in securities market, it will be delivered by Mr. Mohit Mehra, Business Analyst, Zerodha Broking Limited. We are all know Zerodha has made a mark in stock market. So zero brokerage, lot of schemes are there. I don't want to propagate regarding the company, but all aware. So it is very easy to deal with and it is easy to operate in share market with Zerodha also. And you are all aware, in spite of this pandemic situation, one side we say that global the GDP is negative growth, but another side our stock market is jumping like a galloping horse. So we have dilemma whether there is a It is like a balloon or it is a real strength in the market. So Mr. Mohit Mehra, definitely he will throw light in investment opportunities in securities market during this ups and downs. So we have tall leader Mr. Mohit Bhatia, who is the head sales and marketing Canara Robeco Mutual Fund Mumbai. So Canara Robeco Mutual Fund is the second oldest asset manager in India, and Canara Bank and Robeco Mutual Fund. It is a joint venture of these two giant organizations. We are all knowing that Canara Bank is from our own place, Mangalore. So it is the fourth largest state-owned bank in India, having presence of more than 114 years of its existing. So it has been ranked as one of the top banks in 2017 by Dun and Bradstreet also. So Canara Bank and Robeco Mutual Fund, their joint venture is the Canara Robeco Mutual Fund. The name Mohit, because there are two Mohits are there today, the name Mohit itself speaks about one who attracts, is the attraction, and not only attraction, commands one's heart. So definitely our today's chief guest Mohit Bhatia, his personality is also very attractive. Our Mohit Mehra also, his personality is also attractive. But both of them definitely today command the heart of all the investors. In Sanskrit, Moh and Hit, there are two words. Together it is called Mohit. Moh means feeling of great affection and Hit stands for the heart. That's why attracting heart of others, definitely our Mohit Bhatia sir will definitely attract the heart of all of us. That's why you are here today as a chief guest for our today's webinar. I welcome on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India Mangalore branch on this Golden Jubilee year. We welcome you, sir, for this today's webinar as a chief guest. Before I conclude, in Sanskrit there is a saying, Kshanashaha Kanasaschaiva Vidyamartam cha sadayet Kshane naste kuto vidya Kane naste kuto dhanam. The meaning of this is Kshanashaha Kanasaschaiva. That means every moment one should learn. Kanasaschaiva means every moment one should learn. So Vidyamartam cha, that means from every bit one should, artham means earn. Kshane naste kuto vidya, that means if you waste a second, that means kshana. You can't get the knowledge or vidya. At the same time, kane naste kuto dhanam, if you waste a bit, that means kana, small penny or paisa also, you can't get money, that means artham. So with this small introduction, I would like to welcome all the four dignitaries for today's virtual meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those wonderful words of welcome. We have with us today a renowned personality as our chief guest. Sir has already introduced him to us. He is none other than Mr. Mohit Bhatia. Sir, we are very happy to have you with us today. May I please call upon Ms. Anju Manoj, who is an articled assistant of CASS Nayak, to please introduce our chief guest to us. Over to you, Anju.
Thank you, Hasta. Respected luminaries, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Anju Manoj, and I have the pleasure of introducing the chief guest for today's Investor Awareness Program in this World Investor Week. Investment is something we are deeply interested, and avoiding investment mistakes is essential to ensure our investment future. Today, we have here as our chief guest the head of sales and marketing of Canara Robeco Mutual Fund Mumbai, This mutual fund is second oldest asset manager in India and the global leader in sustainable investing. He has a vast experience in wealth management, asset management, investment management companies, and has proved his passionate dedication to those roles. Please join me in welcoming our chief guest of this virtual CPE meeting, Mr. Mohit Bhatia. Over to you, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and my honor actually to be here. Thank you, Mr. Nayak. And firstly, my congratulations to the Mangalore chapter for the Golden Jubilee year. And when Mr. Nayak told me that he's getting me as a chief guest, I was telling him no. I mean, he himself is such a luminary, and I'm not saying this because I'm in this presentation, but I think I really have known him for some years now, and I see that he's, beside contributing to the profession of chartered accountancy, I see him as someone who's really been working on building up entrepreneurship. I think that is something that our country requires. We see that being talked about by our Prime Minister in almost all forums, and I see Mr. Nayak contributing to this in a big way. Most importantly, I think I admire Mr. Nayak, your energy, drive, enthusiasm all the time. I always see you in this positive energy, and I think that is really very important, and especially in times like these where we've seen an unprecedented 1 year, once in 100 kind of event, and of course once in a lifetime kind of event for most of us in our corporate and private lives. So with that, I will not take too much time, but since I come in from Canada Rubico, I thought I'll just share a few thoughts. And then we have some nice speakers and a great agenda for today. And, they'll be adding on and really elaborating upon their subjects, which I think hold a lot of interest for people here. So, as I was introduced, I am Mohit Bhatia. I head the sales and marketing function at Canada Rubico. I've been in the industry for almost 25 years now. I started my career in the area of investment and equity research. Have worked in the past I started my career in a PSU banking entity, which was, also had an AMC. So right after my engineering and MBA, I did that. And then a few years in the US, and then came back, and I've been in the product and sales side. So good experience, having known the Indian industry from right early 90s. I think one thing that there is no scope for is cynicism, so always when we are too much over analytical, we tend to forget the positives. So, it's always like when people say it's about seeing the glass half full versus seeing the glass half empty. Let's approach everything with a very unbiased view, especially when you are dealing with market linked products, right? So to me, I think that's one of the first things. And for somebody who's been analyzing the markets for a long while, we have some eminent speakers here, all may probably relate to this, that while you have to be, cautious, you have to be analytical, but I think optimism, there's no replacement for that. So, a healthy dose of optimism, built into your analysis really works very, very well. A couple of minutes on our company, Canada Rubico. Mr. Nayak introduced that we are a JV between Canada Bank, a well-known household name in India in the area of banking, and Rubico, which is incidentally the oldest mutual fund company in Europe, incidentally founded in 1929. Again, one of those landmark years where the whole world was going through a crisis, but it has survived, thrived, and today one of the more profitable and fast-growing asset management companies. So this venture has been 14 years old, whereas Canada Rubico's original avatar, which was the CanBank Mutual Fund, has a date of inception of 1987 September. So that makes it the second oldest mutual fund company in the country. We've been able to manage growth with profitability as a company. And more importantly, we've been able to reciprocate our investors' faith in a fantastic manner. So if you look at one of the prime pillars that we have in our investment philosophy is to ensure that the money that we manage is managed in a very transparent way, true to the scheme objective or true to the label, and ensuring that the NAV. So if you've invested in mutual funds, you'll know that NAV really is the one number that you can track every mutual fund product with. So each NAV truly reflects the underlying value of securities, because we are dealing with open-ended products. Money can come in, money can go out. We need to be ready for that. And at Canara Robeco, we made sure that this is very nicely balanced. Risk management, I think we pride ourselves. Out of 43 fund houses, there'll be very few handful who will not have had any incidents, during these last 3-4 years of problem with debt securities, and we are one of them. And I would certainly like to believe this is not by accident, but by design. Great processes and risk management is truly the pillar in terms of, to me, if I look at my work experience in last 25 years, while investment performance really forms the core offering that we give to our clients, it is also how well you manage risk that really makes it really consistent performance and wealth creation for people. So touching a little bit upon the state of the markets, and we have experts, like I said again, and I'll not take too much time, but we believe that even at these levels where the market has rallied from the lows which we saw in March 2020, there is ample scope, because India's long-term growth story continues to be intact, founded on strong fundamentals, favorable demographics, and most importantly, India playing a very important role in global, financial industry. And as our market cap increases, our allocation should naturally increase as a percentage. So, which is something we believe is a big factor leading to global investors looking at India, and we've seen that happen over the last few months. Where inflows have been very, very encouraging. We also believe that Indian debt, products, Indian government securities also offer a very attractive yield for investors outside, and so that should also draw money once the comfort on the Indian macro situation is seen by investors globally. So, from a mutual fund perspective, I think just one final thought that I want to share with you is that it'll be important to focus on the big picture. And like I said, the big picture or the macro trend is the continuation of the India growth story. And besides that, I see from an investor's perspective, and why I say this in this forum is that we have chartered accountants, financial consultants, budding chartered accountants. And I think to me, I am not a chartered accountant, but I have a lot of high regard for chartered accountants, because that is one profession where every household really trusts their advice. Okay, I have my cousins and all in this profession, and truly, I really trust their advice, analysis, and hence it becomes important basically to ensure that you have, unlike what has happened in India in the past, allocation to market-linked products, which I mean, where you're not just investing in a fixed return product, will really help, because today we see interest rates going down in India, we see inflation going down in India. So as a result, if you're not investing in market-linked products, or you're not advising your clients to invest in market-linked products, you are really missing out on wealth creation. So the journey of wealth creation becomes that much lengthier if you're not investing in the right kind of market-linked products in proportion to what is dictated by the asset allocation right for you. So asset allocation is simply allocating between various asset classes: debt, equity, physical assets, financial assets, and in percentages which suits your return and risk profile. You can obviously look at the past returns, which is no guarantee, but it gives you a good estimate. Review it with your a financial advisor or the coach, whoever you may want to call him, and keep on analyzing and reviewing this portfolio for newer opportunities. So to me, great opportunity today in the Indian markets. Mutual funds bring forth professional management for all of you. Start early, invest regularly, and have patience. To me, that's the three-pronged advice I would say. And people who've done that have created tremendous wealth in market-linked products, in mutual funds, in equity and bond market. So with that, Mr. Nayak, let me hand it back to you. Thank you very much once again for inviting me here. It's an honor again, and I'll hand it back to you to take it forward, please.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and thank you so much for those insightful words. We are very glad to have met you. On this virtual meet, we feel really privileged and lucky to have met Mr. Tejas, Mr. Himanshu, and Mr. Mohit Mehra, who are also well versed in the field of investment. We would definitely like to know more about them. Once again, Anju, may I ask you to formally introduce our resource persons of today. Over to you, Anju.
Thank you. It is my privilege to introduce the speakers for today's virtual CPE meeting. We have here a talent pool of experts, and I guess we can take a deep diving. Our first topic is Introduction to Securities Market and Demat of Shares. We have an awesome speaker who is the Assistant Manager, Karnataka Head of NSDL National Securities Depository Limited, one among the largest depositories in the world, and the first depository in India. He is working with NSDL for the last 5 years and is associated with the capital markets in India for the past 9 years. Let me introduce to you today's first speaker, Mr. Tejas Narasimhamurthy. Next, we have a prominent speaker to share his take on ecosystem of Indian capital market and career opportunities for professionals. This speaker is a manager, business development Southern region at National Stock Exchange of India Limited, NSE, India's leading stock exchange and India's largest financial market. He holds 9 years of experience in financial services and is actually playing the role to create investor awareness amongst corporates and institutions. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Himanshu Srivatsava. Our next and last speaker on this investor awareness program has inherited the knowledge from generations. His family has been in the stock brokerage industry for 4 generations, and he has taken over as successor and has ran the business for a while. Presently working as business analyst in one among the newest members pioneered in the art of interweaving technology with conventional financial services of Indian equity and derivative trade economy, Zerodha Broking Limited. He's gonna share his knowledge on investment opportunities in securities market. Let us welcome Mr. Mohit Mehra. Thank you all for joining us today. We are happy to have you here. Thank you. Over to you, Hasta.
Thank you so much, Anju. With that, we conclude the inaugural of our BCM. I now hand over the virtual platform to our resource persons to kickstart the technical sessions. Thank you.
Tejas. Tejas.
Shilpa, are they online?
Hello, Tejas. Tejas. Mr. Himanshu is there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You can start, let him, because he is not there, no?
Okay, next, sir.
Himanshu, you can start.
Yeah.
Ecosystem of Indian capital market and career opportunities for professionals.
Okay, so
Hello, sir. Sorry, there was a hiccup with my network, so I am
Okay.
able to rejoin again. So, is it fine? Shall I start it now?
Yeah, yeah. It should have
Yeah, yeah.
started a long back.
Yes, yes. Sorry, sir. So, is my screen viewable?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Sorry for the interruption. I had a network issue. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Tejas, from NSDL, National Securities Depository Limited. So I'll be presenting about the deposit system and also a small introduction about the capital markets. So since we are celebrating the World Investor Week today, uh, this Investor Week is been organized by SEBI, since SEBI is the security agency regulatory for the capital markets. So I mean, every all over the world there's a Investor Week which has been celebrated by each and every regulator of the own particular country. So here, since SEBI is the lead regulator, we are organizing this seminar. So we used to organize on a physical basis. Last year and all, we used to organize on a physical. Since there's a COVID situation, we thought we'll have this webinar session. Thanks for the opportunity, sir, for giving us a this immense opportunity to give this session over to your colleagues and also to your members and also to other professionals who are joined for this webinar session. So our session would be basically on the securities market and capital market, and I'll be taking over the deposit system in India. So since Naik sir and we have been doing this program from the previous year or onwards, so we thought we'll go ahead with this webinar session. Uh, Let me start over with my presentation. So I hope everyone are aware about the capital market structure in India. So here, who have joined the webinar, you would be trading in the capital markets and doing some transactions over there. So I'll have a analogy between a securities market and the money market. Money market would be the banks and bank are the institutions. So basically, those are new joinees over here. We'll have a good analogy between this. They can understand the capital market very well. So see, in India we have four regulators. One is the oldest regulator is the RBI, which regulates the money market, the banks. The second one will be the SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, which regulates the capital market in India. And third one would be from the insurance part. Insurance would be IRDA, where it regulates the all insurance related aspects in India. And the fourth one, which is a new regulatory, that is PFRDA, which regulates the pension system, which started in 2010. So, which regulates the pension system in India. It's the four regulators which regulates this, I mean, the whole environment of the economy. So we're gonna talk about the SEBI aspect. SEBI started its the regulatory system in 1982. Prior to this, there was no statutory uh, the over the capital market. So after it got regulated, got all rights to regulate the market. It started its all its laws or guidelines to capitalize this security market. So in SEBI, we have this intermediaries on exchanges and depository who would act like a quasi regulators. Would act like a quasi regulators who can regulate the other intermediaries in capital market. So stock exchanges, commodity exchanges, derivative exchanges, depository, and other intermediary will give the services to all the investors across India. So stock exchanges, as you are ever know, like in India, there are two major stock exchanges, that is NSE, BSE, and MSE and MCX. MCX is the commodity exchange. So NSE, BSE is the major stock exchange which deals with the overall capital market and the securities market in India, where the more transaction would happen. And there were other regional stock exchanges in across India with in their own city. In Mangalore also there was a regional stock exchange. In Bangalore there was a regional stock exchange, but everything got consolidated and they made these two stock exchanges as the main stock exchange. So some stock exchange, regional stock exchange still function.
Mr. Tejas,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. Can you put it in a slideshow mode?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Is it fine now?
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah, yeah. So depository system is there in all the countries. Deposit system to for the transaction of securities, to for buying and selling of the securities, for getting your securities deposited in your demat account. Every country has this facility. In India, NSDL is the first and foremost depository where we started operation 1996. And there's the other depository, that is CDSL, which is the one of the depository in India. So we are the largest depository, and we are the first one to implement this deposit system in India. And other intermediaries, all these stock exchange depositories are like a quasi regulator, and other intermediaries would be the all stock brokers and depository participants, where the investors will be taking the services in the capital market. So I hope, I mean, starting the investment over here, I hope everyone who are the investor here would be knowing like how to start your investment. There's a KYC document, like you have to open a demat account, trading account, and that would be linked to your banking account. So you'll have a three-in-one account in operating the capital system, capital market, and buying the selling of the securities in India. So about NSDL, as I said, we started in 1996. Our major promoter would be National Stock Exchange from the stock exchange point, and then from the banking, it's IDBI Bank, and from the mutual fund, which is the oldest, one of the largest mutual fund houses, UTI. So the major promoters for NSDL, and other promoters and shareholders would be the PSU banks and also some private banks. As I said, we are the largest depository in India, and one of the among the world's largest depository across the globe. We rank in top eight. I mean, eight position across the globe in terms of transaction, and also the account which is lying with the depository. So wide network of the participants, services participants across India. So basically, NSDL as a depository, as an investor, you can't directly come to the depository and open the account. It's not like you as an investor, the bank account holder, you can't directly come and approach the RBI to open a bank account. There's a banking channels. There are a lot of banks, PSU, private banks, where you can take the services of the banking channel. Same thing as a depository, you have to come through a deposit participant. I can say deposit participant, example, Sirada is one of the deposit participants, where they can service the depository services across India and to their investors. So this is our depository progress. We can see uh, the custody value, which is lying in the depository of NSDL, which is more than 200 lakh crores. I mean, it is a huge amount. Thanks to the investors and those who are doing the constant investment on the capital market, and the transaction which is happening and day in and day out. It is also related to the current market value, because if the market value is more higher or lower, it then tends to get according to that situation. So, bank deposits and custody value. See, when we compare our custody value with the PSU banks put together, we have a good chunk of custody value in the depository kitty. So, I mean, as I said, it depends upon directly proportion to the market scenarios. So, custody value compared with the GDP value, yeah, compared to the top 110 countries GDP value, we are among the top custody values across the globe. So this is the framework of a deposit system. So how we are connected, like we can see a DP, that is a deposit participant. See, in NSDL we have around 260 deposit participants, where you can avail the depository services. Example, even Canara Bank has their own depository participant called Canara Securities, where they offer the deposit services. Zerodha is one of the deposit participant. Like that, all PSU banks and private banks have their depository services, and all other brokers like Sher Khan, or else even other brokers, they also have the depository business. So we are interlinked with each other through a MPLS lease link. So basically, it is all over the internet how we do the transactions. And so for the seamless securities of transaction in the capital market, we have this link ready, and which is a lease link, and it is connected with our business partners. So from one end you can see the deposit department which are connected. On the other end you can see the listed companies. In listed companies like who are listed on the stock exchanges in India, they are connected with us. So they are connected to a agent called RTA, register and transfer agents, where they take the services of a NSDL depository for the investors or the shareholders who are in the listed company. They take the every weekly they take the benpos. We call it a beneficial position. They take the benpos from the RTA for the issuer company. Basically, you as an investor, for example, you are holding a share of a company called ABC, example. So this ABC company is listed in exchanges, and they are to also get listed in the deposit system. So you have a ABC Company Limited physical shares. Since SEBI made a mandate that if you want to sell the securities, it has to be on a demat mode. So what you have to do is you have to approach company for dematerializing the physical shares. So what you can do is like you can approach this RTA or the deposit participant, where they help you to convert your physical shares to demat. So this is the role of RTA. So RTA has all the uh, register of the I mean, shareholders of the particular company, where they able to help the I mean, convert your physical shares to demat. And other services like giving of the bonuses or dividends or shares. If the company has the good value or attains the profits, it gives bonus and shares that will take the details from the depository itself. For example, uh, the company XYZ will offer a bonus for these shareholders. So it will take the beneficial position from the depository. Like if the share, if the investors are so and so date or register with so and so date, they're eligible for the bonus. So they'll take this beneficial position from the depository, and they give bonus to all the investors. So this is how they take the avail the services. And we are also connected with clearing corporations in India, where they clear the trades and deposit some money or securities in your demat and trading account. So this is how the ecosystem of the capital market and in the securities market which is there as of now. So we are proud to say that we are also been transfer. I mean, we are one of the most integrated deposit system and ecosystem in across the globe. Basically, the settlement time which takes to buying and selling of the shares in the capital market in India is T plus 2 days, and we also match the technology with the other big participant across the globe. That is maybe US, UK, or Japan or China. So some of the other countries are still struggling to get to this settlement time, that is T plus 2. US and UK, they recently got into this settlement time T plus 2, but other well developed economies are still come or in the T plus 3 days. So basically, if you buy the shares on Monday, it will get deposited on Wednesday. So that is how the settlement time which is there in the current capital market structure. So this will definitely will gonna attain in T plus 1 day. So it will take time, and then SEBI is also proposing to have this T plus 1 day transaction. So it will, I hope we are that technology which we have available right now, we are definitely have this capability to convert to T plus 1 day. So the services offered by the depository participants is like you can open the account. So you as an investor, first investor, to open account, you have to go and approach the depository participant, as I said. And if you go approach there, they'll give the set of forms to you. You have to give a KYC document like how you open a bank account. No, same thing, same set of documents is required. PAN card is must and should, and your address proof and your photo. So the DP will help you out in opening of demat account. So once you open a demat account, what are the services you get is like basically, yeah, if you have a physical shares of the company, listed company, you can dematerialize those shares through the DP and even through the RTA mode. And you can also freeze and unfreeze your account can also transfer your securities from one account to other account. So how you do the transaction banking, same thing. It's it is related to the same activity here, but only thing is the terms and terminology and some documents will be differing. That's it. So these are the documents to open a bank demat account. PAN card is must and should in the capital market to do to have the investments in the capital market. PAN card is must and should document. And other document all your Aadhaar card, passport, driving license, voter ID, yeah, all the government approved documents is valid to have the demat account opening. And if you want to link your demat account to your banking account for getting the benefits, corporate benefits from the companies, so you can link your current banking account to the demat account. So your securities, after you sell your securities, your money will be directly debited to your bank account. And also what are the corporate benefits you get from the companies, you get directly debited, banking, created into a banking account. Features of demat accounts, same relating to the banking account. So see, if you open a bank account, some banks has a minimum balance where you have to maintain. So in demat there is no minimum balance. It's completely nil. You can have zero securities, you can have n number of securities. You can purchase zero shares, or you can purchase a number of shares in a demat account. uh, Account can be opened in the no, can be opened by the minor. So in the minor, so you should have a joint account to open a demat. So joint account would be with the guardian parent, would be like your mother or father. So they can have a joint account, and the minor can get the account opened. And the transaction will be done by the guardian until he attains the majority. After 18, he can do the transaction. Until then, the guardian will be operating the account. So one person, one PAN card holder can have multiple demat account. There is no restriction on this. Can open n number of demat account across the depository participants. Joint account can be open. Joint account, uh, uh, maximum number of three holders can be have the joint account. So joint can be open. Uh, on behalf of the stockbroker, see, in the capital market area in India, so there's a power of attorney that has to be given while opening a demat account. So it's not mandatory. You can have the power of attorney not to give one to the broker or DP. So if you don't give the power of attorney, then see, you have to manually do the transaction. Like there's a DS booklet, delivery instruction slip. So when you open a bank account, you get a checkbook, right, to operate your bank. So instead of checkbook, there's internet banking. Same way, instead of, if you don't wish to have this hassle services to a deposit participant with the power of attorney, so you have to transact to a DS booklet, where you have to give a delivery slip. It's a small instruction slip which you give to a broker for buying and selling of your securities or transferring your securities. So now majorly all the investors choose to have this power of attorney given to the brokers. Basically, they want to have this hassle-free services. They don't want to physically do the activity. So it has been taken care. The broker will be taking care of the debiting or trading of your securities on your demat account. So transposition, this comes if you have a share certificate, and if you want to transpose that share certificate into demat. So uh, this is how it is been done. So basically, two holders. If your share certificate, in the share certificate as a two holder in the name of A and B, A is the first and B the second holder. On the same sequence, you should have the demat account open as A and B, or B and A. So there should be no additional person who will be on the demat account. If there's an additional person, then on the share certificate also there should be a three holder. So whatever the sequence is there, the same sequence the demat account should be open to transport your share certificates. So nomination is mandatory, not so mandatory, but it's better to have a nominee on your demat account. So minor or power of attorney or any NRI can have the nominee done. So it can be changed anytime. Maximum up to three nominees. Onto three nominees, we can bifurcate with the percentage of the securities. So we can give the percentage of the nominees for the each and every nominee. So only the account holder can nominate, and power of attorney cannot be cannot nominate. So transmission in the event of death of a single holder, if you have nominated, then the nominee will take the benefits of the in the favor of the deceased holder. In terms of joint, the survivor joint holder will take the favor, and in terms of all the joint holders' death, the nominee, again the nominee who's been appointed, will get the benefits of the demat. What are the securities? They can transfer the securities into the nominee account. This is one of the development what SEBI has given to the investors. This came in the year on 2016. Basic service demat account prior to the Jandan. I can relate to this Jandan account of banking. So where in the Jandan account, it's a minimal transaction, and also there'll be no kind of balances that has to be kept, no, in the Jandan account. Same thing for the basic service demat account, where you don't have to pay AMCs. So all the DPs to run their business and services to give, I mean, they put AMCs, annual maintenance cost, to the investors. So it will be probably on the pay structure of their own payments. So every DP has their own AMC structure. So get rid of this, the first time investors or new PAN card holders in the capital market can take this basic service demat account, where there will be no AMC, annual maintenance cost, that will be charged to the investors or the demat holders. So to avail, if you have not availed, you can go approach your DP, your first demat account where it has been opened, can go approach that DP and then avail this basic service demat account. There is a form that will be given by the DPs, and you can fill up the form and take up this basic service demat account. So what is that criteria is like up to 1 lakh, including value of debt securities or equities, which is there in a demat. There'll be no AMC charges. AMC will be nil. If it's from 50,000 to 2 lakh or 1 to 2 lakh, including debt or the equity securities, the maximum of 100 rupees can be charged by the deposit participant as the AMCs. And if at all, if it crosses over 2 lakhs, your securities lying on the demat, then the DP can charge as per their own regular charge structure. So please avail this facility so that we, in order to get the more participation in the capital market, the SEBI has come up with this kind of new concept, and also for the new investors or the young investors, those who want to try out how the capital market works, how the uh, transaction happens. I mean, this is one kind of educational thing where you can open a demat trading account and avail the services without any cost. So you can also close your account. Closure and shifting of the account can be done of demat. So before you close your account, please keep your balances nil in your demat. There should be no debit or credit that has to happen. So keep your balance nil. There should be no securities lying before you close your demat or trading account. So use of your demat account. So far we talked about the demat, how the demat works. So what is the use? I mean, why it is being used as a demat account? See, demat account in the capital market, for all the securities that you want to demat, you can keep it on a demat. It is very safe, and you don't have to take I mean, any kind of headache in getting the transaction statement, or else the services. Yeah, so everything can be done well over online internet itself. So IPO, if you want to apply for the IPO, initial public offering, this demat account is must and should. NFOs, or else any kind of new securities that you want to buy, maybe apart from equities. You can also take up. You can buy the securities in bond or SGB, sovereign gold bonds, or even mutual fund units can be kept in the demat mode. So on you can receive the corporate benefits like bonuses, other split. I mean shares, rights issue, everything on a demat account. And also there's a service called loan against shares. So in your demat account, if you have any securities, which is the securities of a top 100 companies or 500 companies, the banks will offer the loan on your securities. So you can pledge your securities to the bank and avail the loans for your securities. So the depository will come into picture when pledging and pledging of the shares to the concerned banks. The monetary benefits is outside the depository, so your investor will have the separate monetary benefits for this, and the agreement, the rate of interest, everything is outside the depository. As a depository, we only pledge the unpledging of the securities. So once you open a demat account as an NSDL demat holder, you get this cash statement. So this was proposed in Union Budget, saying that we should give this cash statement to the investors. So we have brought up this new and good concept. Basically, if you have a demat account of NSDL, you get the cash statement wherever your PAN is updated in the capital market. So if you have purchased any kind of securities in, I mean, in mutual funds or any kind of bonds which are purchased, everything comes in a one single statement. So you don't have to get a statement from each and every security which you're holding. So it gets consolidated in one statement, and this makes the investors to analyze the portfolio of his portfolio, and wherever he has done the transaction, I can easily analyze in a one single cash statement. And if you want to avail these services, you can log into our nsdlcash.nsdl.com and get this statement on your email account. So basically, this will be posted to your this cash statement will be posted every monthly if there is any transaction. If there is no transaction, then half yearly this will be posted. So sometimes what happens if the post not get delivered during a transit, so it comes. I mean, it comes back to the depository since we are only giving this cash statement. So better I recommend you register on the email, you get the cash statement over the email without any kind of, I mean, transit delay in the transit and all. And one more service of NSL, what we offer to the demat holders is e-services. So this will be directly given to the NSTL demat holders. So you can avail these services by sitting at home and do the transaction over the internet. So one service is speedy. If you don't want to give a power of attorney and do transact everything through online without giving a DS booklet or a DS slip to the broker or DP, you can take this speedy services where you can transfer your securities or sell your securities to a broker by sitting at your home, and do the margin pledging and unpledging everything on the speedy services. So speedy services can be availed by giving the application to your DP. So once you give the application to DP, they authorize it and they give a login credentials to you. It's something similar to like a banking, internet banking, where you can transfer the money from one account to other account by sitting at your home. Same thing, can transfer securities from this SPD's facility. So other one is Ideas. Ideas is a facility where you can see the holding transaction statement. So this is very helpful. Basically, the investor during the annual return, they would take up this investment. I mean, they want to give this investment holding statement to their auditors to get the returns ready. So they take up this Ideas facility and give to the auditors for their transaction, and can easily avail these services, and and by just registering your demat account on the Ideas facility. So please log into eservices.nsdl.com to take up this Ideas facility. We have the mobile app where you can view the statement of holding by your mobile in your mobile. And one more thing is NSDL e-voting. So e-voting is a concept in India where all the listed company has to take up this e-voting from the depository. And as I said, by it's been regularized by MCA, like all the companies who are listed and those who have more than 1,000 shareholder has to mandatorily do the e-voting and do the AGM. So on the AGM, every yearly what they do, they have to mandatorily do the e-voting. So the e-voting will be done by the shareholders of the company. So once you purchase a share of a company, you're one of the partially or owner of the company. So for whatever the decision which has been made by the company, for example, if there's any board changes or if there's any dividend to be paid or any kind of major changes what they do in the company management, so they have to take a consent of the shareholder. So the consent of the shareholder, what used to happen is they have to do it over the physical meeting by raising their hand. So now it has gone away and they are doing everything on electronic mode. And this been done by this facility is being given by the depository of NSDL, where the shareholders can log in and then do the voting of your particular company and be the part of a company management as a owner. This e-voting last year we used to do on a physical basis. So all the company who have listed here and who are the investors, no, they go to the AGM session which will be held yearly, and they attend the AGM session and post the question to the board management. So if you, for example, in Bangalore, the Infosys AGM is conducted. It is very huge. I mean, around 1,000, 2,000 investors join the AGM meeting and they attend the AGM meeting and do the voting. So on all the board members, all the chairperson and all even Narayan Murthy, everyone, Mr. Narayan Murthy, everyone used to attend and they'll be in the board management, and the investor will come directly pose the question to the board management. So this is how the AGM session occurs. And also whatever the roads which you have, or what is the profit and loss, or what is the balance sheet, so all they all discuss in the AGM meeting. And depending on the feedback what the management give, they do the voting according to that. So the voting also will be there available on the AGM time. So this year due to COVID situation, everything is happening on an online mode, where they do the live streaming of the AGM, and all the board management will be something like a Zoom meeting, and the investors will be there and then do the I mean attend the meeting and do the vote. So this is how the e-voting and the AGM management is done by the NSTL depository. So you can log into e-voting at nsdl.com. You can see series of events, series of AGMs or which has been done. You can see how many companies are available these services. And if you are investors over there of the company, you can do the voting of a particular script. This is one of the main topic, claiming of unclaimed dividends and shares. So from past 7 years, those who not got the shares, if there's any rights issue, or else if there's any stock splits, or else further shares which has been bonus shares which has been awarded to the shareholder, or any dividends which is being given, bonuses which is being given and which is not being claimed by the investors. So this goes to the IPF Authority of India. It's a government agency which has been nominated by Government of India. So this shares or this benefits goes to the that account. So what happens is basically this happens majorly to the physical holders of the company. So if it's on a demat mode, more major of the IPF share doesn't get transferred, because the demat on it gets directly created in a demat account, or it directly created to the bank account. But in physical, if there is a transit issue, or if there's a loss of this certificates or checks which is being given by the bank company, it gets during the transit it get lost, so it goes to the IPF authority, all these shares, if it's not being claimed. So as the investors, how to claim these shares or dividends is like you have to go to the IPF gov.in, that website. There's a separate application for this to claim these benefits. So you have to fill up this application and give this application to the nodal officer of the particular script company. So nodal officer of the company would be the company secretary. Can go and approach them and they can give this application, and it would probably take 15 days. They do the cross checking from the backend register, and then they'll have to approach the IPF for the release of the securities and give the securities to you or dividends to you. So it will probably take 15 days to claim the dividends back to your account. So I recommend like you always change your whenever there is a change of a bank account, whenever there is a change of a residential proof or email address, mobile number, please do it regularly. So what happens if you don't do this, and then it goes to the IPF authority if there is any benefits which being given by the company. So one more thing, since we are also have this professionals who have joined here, CA professionals, you can also get associated with NSDL by recommending you some of companies to join on a depository. So if the company wants to keep their shares on a demat mode, so they have to get registered on a depository. Since professionals over here, they interact more with the company officials for their auditing purpose. So you can also get join the depository system, helping us out in creating a ecosystem on online mode or depository mode, and keeping all the securities on a safe mode. You can help us in referring your clients to join the depository and keep the shares and securities on a demat account. And we have a referral program too, that we'll be offering to the professionals of CA, CS, and other professionals also. We have a referral program. We also we do this program with many of the accountant chapter across India, and we educate, we tell to give the awareness about this circulars. So and also MC has come up with a circular like all your shares or unlisted public limited company, if they want to transfer the securities, or if they want to issue the further securities, that has to be on demat mode. This came in 2018, and it is a mandatory thing. If they are issuing further shares of the public limited, so they have to take up the depository system and they have to do it through a demat itself. So this would be a main opportunity for the professional to get associated with NSDL. So there are set of documents that has to be given, that anyways the NSDL will help them out. So the company has to appoint a RTA for this. Once the RTA is appointed, RTA will definitely get the job done in getting the securities dematted on the NSDL depository. So you can get associated if you want to get to know more about this program. I'll give my number and also my email address. You can just drop me a mail or can call me up. And I'll explain you about the entire process of this program, or the dematerialization of the shares of the company. Be a prudent investor. So what are the do's and don'ts the investors can have to do, have to carry out during the transaction in the securities market? So keep the documents signed with you, and keep the backup of the document wherever you have signed the documents. So change the password regularly. We recommend to have it on every 15 days. Read SMS and emails which is been sent by the depository or exchanges or deposit participant. So the DS booklet, while using a DS booklet, please check whether the serial ID and the demat account ID is pre-printed before you give to the DPs for transferring of securities. So if there's any changes in your demat account, please inform your DPs. As I said, if there's any demographical changes or else bank account changes, please inform your DP if there's any changes. So please mention your mobile number, email address while opening a demat account. So many of you, if you don't have the mobile number registered or else your email registered on the demat account, so this services what we give, all these e-services, or if the DP or a broker wants to contact you, it will be a very easy way of contacting you in this mode, on the email or else on the mobile number. So this education part, this is a part of the education what we are doing. So this SEBI has told us to do this kind of investor education across India with all the institute, all the education institute, all the professionals, all on the public platform. So we used to do on a physical platform. So since there's a COVID, we are doing on the virtual, And if you want to attend this program henceforth, on our website, we every day we do this program. It's not only about this topic. We talk about different type of topic across the capital market. So what are the new regulations which has come? So all these topics will be discussing. We also call upon the expertise of this segment, and also the institute like you also joins and have this kind of debate in these programs. So you can log into our platform and see which is any investor program which is there. You can directly join. There is no fee or cost to it. You can directly join. And henceforth, if the COVID situation is all normalized, probably we'll come down to Mangalore again. We'll have a physical kind of program. We'd like to have a live and on-face interaction with you. Since we have already done with the chapter, Mangalore chapter, and also with Nayak sir, so we'll definitely come back again, and we'd like to see you on the face and do a good program henceforth. So these are bulletin, NSTL bulletin, which we send to the all the registered investors. So please register this bulletin so that you get this good updates about the market every month on your email account. So this is a free of cost, and then if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe, and whenever you want to unsubscribe, you can do it. But we recommend like keep this document with you every time so that we tend to educate the investors through this kind of bulletins. So this is the contact number of grievance redressal cell. The SEBI, if you have any complaints or any deposit participants or any kind of grievances or any kind of issues which is there, you can directly log into the scores online website and you can lodge a complaint over there. So it will probably take 2 or 3 days or a particular agency to contact you back and get the complaint resolved. So that is a time frame the SEBI has given. So you can note down the SEBI helpline number. So SEBI has a regional office in Bangalore, and also we have a regional office in Bangalore, which is in Cunningham Road in Bangalore, DBS house. Even NSE and STL are both placed in the same office. So if at all, if you want to come and visit our office and get to know more about the services or any kinds of issues which you have, we can directly come in, or you can also drop a mail, you can call us, and then can get it resolved from our side. So please note down our all the contact details. With this, I would like to end my presentation. So if you have any feedback or suggestion, I will be there. Will be there to sort it out. Maybe after the end of the session, I'll definitely be there to, give the answers for your queries. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tejas. It
Thank
is
you.
a very nice presentation and very informative. So basics of all DMAT account and other information you have covered. Thank you very much. Now over to our NSC leader, Sri Himanshu Srivatsava. Kindly take over the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving us opportunity and the sort of introduction you have given us. This is for my name. This sort of intro I came to know first time only. So thanks to you. In fact, with support of Nayak sir, NSC, we have done lots of events in past also with different association in Mangalore, like your Canara Chamber of Commerce and different other bodies. So very true, as Mr. Mohit from Canara Mutual Fund, he told you for each and everything, he's always there to support and create awareness as far as possible. So with that, let me just share my presentation, and without taking much time, let me start with my presentation from here onwards. Okay, so I hope my presentation is visible to all. Is it visible?
Yes, yes, Himanshu. Yes, it's visible.
Okay, just give me a minute. So, first of all, welcome you all on this World Investor Week. So, as my colleague, Mr. Tejas from NSDL, he already told, this entire week is dedicated as a World Investor Week, and it is being celebrated across, not only across India, on on global level. So NSC, under the guidance of SEBI, which is our regulatory body, we are also trying to create a awareness with the support of organization like ICAI Mangalore on likewise with different chapters of CA Association. We have done lots of awareness activity with your Mangalore chapter, Belgaum chapter, Bangalore chapter as well. So this is a entire week which is dedicated to make sure that all the rumors which is there pertaining to, let's say, positive or negative, which is pertaining to capital market, the investors, they are getting chance to directly interact and clear their doubts. So with that, let me start with my presentation. So I hope, NSC as an organization, you are aware, but this is just a bit of background about our organization. So NSC as an organization, which started as a, the initiative was taken by, couple of bodies under the guidance of Government of India to make sure to bring a better transparency in the Indian capital market. So we started our operations in 1994, and from 1996 we are happy to say we are market leader. Whereas you can see the sort of market share NSE is leveraging in Indian capital market, whereas in equity we are having close to 85% market share. In derivative on equity we are having close to 99% market share. If we'll talk about global benchmark in index options, NSE is leading stock exchange all over the world. And apart from that, other benchmarks are given for your reference. Now, in Indian capital market, as my colleague have already told, these are the three main pillars on which this entire ecosystem works. You'll talk about anything, everything, any one of the organization which is part of capital market, they are one or other pillars of which is mentioned or which is in front of you. So one of the pillar which is focus area, or which is a primary focus area for SEBI, is investors. Okay, so when we are talking about any one of the activity which is or initiative taken by SEBI, so obviously the primary agenda is to make sure that the rights of investors that should be safeguarded. So who's investors? Anyone like me and you, who's investing in capital market in any one of the financial products, they are or they are playing the role of investors. Now, issuer, as you know, any one of the company which is coming down, be it company, PSU, government organization, which is coming down and, let's say, raising fund through equity or through debt market, they are the one which is coming under issuer. And intermediary is the organization, let's say NSC, depository, NSDL, Mr. Tejas, and mutual fund organization. Then we are having merchant bankers, we are having market makers, we are having different other players who's working as a facilitator, or they are working as a chain into this entire system. So these are the basically three pillars on which this entire ecosystem works. Now here onwards, as I know, you as I'm addressing a group of CA, so majority of the things are already you must be familiar about. So, but it is just a brush up for you. So in security market, there are two segments to it, primary and secondary, as you know. So primary market, so when we are talking about all these intermediaries in my last slide, so all the activities which is involved till the listing of company at a stock exchange platform, where company is coming up with their IPO and getting listed, entire activity is coming under primary market. Now, when we are talking about secondary market, once the shares of these companies are listed in at the stock exchange, and when it's available for normal trading, okay, so from there onwards, entire cycle, let's say when we are talking clearing, settlement and all, everything is coming under secondary market. Now, more on that, major, there are four buckets, what you are seeing in front of you. So we are having equity, which is normally your, cash market. So equity, which means when we are talking about these shares, shares of XYZ company, Tata, Wipro, L&T, Infosys and all, that is coming under equity segment. Now, derivatives, yes, it is F&O when we are talking about future and options. So derivative can, underlying can be anything, underlying can be equity, it can be currency, it can be index, it can be commodity, why not? So all these are part of derivatives. Mutual fund, Mr. Mohit from Canara Bank, as he rightly told you. So mutual fund, in very simple terms, as you know, a group of people coming together, and we are giving our pool of money to a probably a authorized organization like Canara, Canara Bank Mutual Fund. So and they are on the basis of our objective, they are investing our money in different financial products, keeping our goals in mind. And then we are coming down on fourth, which is bonds and debentures. So bonds, which is basically your, it can be a corporate bond, it can be a government bond. Here I would like to bring in your notice when we are talking about GSEC or government securities or fixed income. So you must be aware that earlier only, let's say, government of India, to meet their physical deficit, they are also coming down and raising funds from capital market. So what happened when they are raising fund? So normally that is in a big volume. So let's say 10,000 CR, 20,000 CR or more. So when we are talking about this sort of volume, so organizations, let's say there are different banks, there are PDs, primary dealers and all, they are the one who's basically putting bid and all, and accordingly they are getting allocation. Now, what happened as per the guideline of regulatory body, now 5% of that, it's given to a retail investors like me and you also. So we can also take it. So that so at stock exchange, we are having something known as NCB, your non-competitive bidding platform. So what happened? Let's say at certain price, when there was bidding between bank, PDs, and also at certain price, any one of the securities got allocated. So at retail level, there will not be bidding. At the very same price, there will be allocation for all the retail investors. Now, more details about all these products, which all products, and if you want to invest, what is the do and don'ts and all, that will be covered by covered in next session by Mr. Mohit, who's part of Zerodha. So I will leave it for him. Now, in capital market, as we know, when we are talking about any one of the company which is coming up for raising the funds from market, so these funds can be utilized in any one of the reason pertaining to that particular organization. So it can be that companies can raise a companies, let's say there's a company Himanshu Limited. If I'm raising funds, so that particular fund, let's say I'm raising 100 CR. So that 100 CR I can use for any one of the activities pertaining to my company. I cannot use, or as per process, I cannot use that fund for my subsidiary or any one of the other company. Okay, so I can use that fund in, let's say, in terms of growth, innovation, expansion, diversification, any sort of M&A, merger or acquisition. So that's the requirement, or that's how the ideally the fund should be used. So company, then they are coming up for listing, the need of capital is something which is probably making them to come down and raise fund from market. Now, as I've already told you how this primary market works. So normally when we are talking about IPO, initial public offering, so the thumb rule is if the allotment is done for more than 50%, then it will be called as public issue. If let's say an XYZ company is coming up for listing and the allotment is done for less than 50%, so it will not be counted as a IPO, it will be coming under private placement. Okay, now you might be thinking, okay, 50%, so I'll come down to, okay, why this 50 numbers are there? Because we are having main board, we are having a separate platform known as immersed platform. A quick idea I'll give you about what is the immersed platform all about. Now ASBA, as you are aware, ASBA is simply application supported by blocked amount. So when you are applying for IPO, the process is you will fill your ASBA form, you will give to your respective bank or your broker. Now the best part in case of ASBA, let's say if I'm any company is coming up for IPO and one lot is, let's say, of 9 shares or 10 shares. Okay, so the time when I will apply, as a part of the process, the certain amount of money. So let's say if I'm applying, whereas the cost of or the application size is maybe 10,000 rupees. Okay, so that amount will be blocked in my account. But I mean, it will be blocked, but I'll be keep on getting interest because nobody's taking it out. It will be kept in my account only. So the best part is if I'm getting tomorrow, if I'm getting allocation, then they will debit my account for that respective amount of money. If I'm not getting allocation, then in that case, they will basically release my fund. So which means there is no question of going and claiming for refund, or there will not be any impact on your interest what you are getting on regular basis. So that is the best part. So that's how the basically ASBA works. Now, the basis of allocation when we are talking about IPO is basically as per the part of SEBI process. SEBI prefers ki, let's say whensoever the allocation is done, then all the retail applicants should get a minimum bid lot which is applied by them. And in case of, let's say, oversubscription, then there is a lottery system. So you might have seen that in case of oversubscription of any XYZ company, you might have seen that your friend, he have applied and you have also applied, he have got the allocation, but you have not. Okay, so that's where in case of lottery system, it does work. It does happen in that way. Now, when you are applying for IPO, so these are the couple of things you should keep in mind. I'm quite sure at this forum, there will be lots of CAs who might have seen or might have applied or might have got allocation in IPO, but I'm not sure how many of you have gone through the offer document of all those companies. Okay, so one thing is whensoever, so what is offer document? I'll come back to this slide. So basically this is like a Janam Kundali, or what we call it as like a bio data of those companies, okay, in which you are getting engaged, okay, by investing your money. So in offer document, it's like a positive, negative of that particular company. Everything is going to be there. You'll talk about, financials of that company, if there is any sort of litigation case going on, why they are raising money, where they are going to use that money, their financials, merchant banker, whomsoever is the merchant banker, or their track record. So each and everything pertaining to that particular company will be there. So in one word, if you are going through the offer document, it will give you clear-cut picture. Okay, it's like a mirror for that particular company. Now, apart from that, get the date and stamp from your respective broker. Okay, so let's say in case of Zerodha, you should there will be a process where you can ask them, or they will be providing you stamp on your respective submission of application. Now recheck the PAN, that is your requirement. You should check your PAN twice, demat account number, bank account number, all these things. Don't give a wrong information. should not keep any blank space. So each and everything, if it is not applicable, you should mention not applicable. Because what happened, we have seen that there are investors who are there in market from quite some time, quite senior people. So sometime if there is a certain hygiene factor which is not being maintained, so because some reason, if you tomorrow you are willing to raise any sort of grievances, then there is a problem. So it is why this do and don'ts are there. So just to make sure that tomorrow those situations should not come up, okay, where you are end up raising any sort of dispute on your member and all, or at your broker. So it's a hygiene factor everybody should maintain the time when you are applying for IPO. Now in secondary market, so simply secondary market refers to the market where securities are traded. So let's say maybe let's say when we are talking about a recent, maybe Happiest Mind, they came up with their IPO. Okay, so after their IPO got successfully listed, so now their shares are available in secondary market for normal buying and selling. Okay, so this is how after being offered to the public in primary market, the role of secondary market will start. So entire thing, let's say trade, your clearing of that particular trade, each and everything will be part of secondary market ecosystem. So as Mr. Tejas told, we are happy to say again, to repeat it, in India, we are at T+2, whereas there are a couple of known, or there are a couple of other countries who are, in terms of GDP, they are doing better than us. But I mean, either they are lagging behind, or they have recently came down to, or they have recently matched to T+2 level. So in that way, Indian capital market is doing quite good. The sort of benchmarking we have set, it is well appreciated. Now in secondary market, this is the entire cycle, starting from placing the order. When you are placing an order of, let's say, buying any particular share, okay, or selling any particular share, so placing the order, trade execution, clearing of that particular trade, settlement of trade, and then transfer of those particular fund, which I told you as T+2. So this is how this entire cycle works. Now, this probably you can go through, because this is already being covered by Mr. Tejas in very, in one word. Everybody, I mean, you being CA, you know what you should ideally, what is a hygiene factor. So again, I'm repeating myself. Not in hurry burry. You should not leave any sort of blank space, or you should not give any sort of probably power of attorney to somebody without. So, for example, let's say there is a professional, okay, who's quite aged. He's well equipped from this in terms of system, but he's not convenient, or he is not comfortable with electronic mode of transaction. He's not the one who's frequently checking his mail and all. So at that point of time, he can opt for a hard copy. Okay, so these are the things which ideally we should maintain. Obtain a free copy of your all the documents executed, so that tomorrow, if you want to claim, or if you want to check which all documents were executed, you are having that copy in your hand. This is something which is already told by Mr. Mohit. Okay, I mean, you need to always check what is your goal, whether it is short term, whether it is long term. At the very same time, I would like to bring this point. I mean, here we are having close to 50 to 60 people. Okay, so all 50 people, everybody will be having their different risk appetite. Okay, so we have to see what is my risk appetite, what is my goal, whether it is short term, whether it is long term, what is my age, what is my and then accordingly, considering my horizon of investment, we should select among the financial products which is available in capital market. Now, steps in financial planning in one word, basically, this is something which I've told you in last slide. I mean, you have to make sure, okay, proper planning, understanding your requirement, needs, and accordingly you should select a product. So as I told, the requirement of each and every individual will vary. So it's probably Mr. Nayak, the sort of experience he's having, or the sort of risk appetite he will be having, I may not be having. So I should analyze my basic requirement, needs, wants, again, horizon, why I'm investing, and accordingly I should put in money. I should not see somebody, and by seeing him I should not follow him. Okay, so he is doing all his managing entire portfolio after considering his financials or his goal, okay, which may not be mine. So for each and every individual, it is very much required to do entire analysis and accordingly select a product, and subsequently put in money in the respective financial products. Now there are different sort of products accordingly, which is there on the basis of the investment needs. So let's say when we are talking about something as a preserved capital, where we are looking forward for certain returns at a certain interval, but we are not looking forward for any to take any sort of risk. So let's say when we are talking about a product, financial product, let's say government bonds, post office scheme, your PPF is there, bank deposits are there. So these are the some points where you are getting certain returns, but those returns will not be that aggressive. Okay, but at the very same time, it's more like a no pain, no gain. So your risk is quite less, or it's almost a zero risk product, where on certain return what you are expecting, that is going to be there for the period of time. Now generate income, again, corporate bonds are there, mutual funds, debt mutual funds are there, capital appreciation. Then it comes your equity. Okay, your equity ETF. What is your ETF? Exchange traded fund. I am quite sure you might have came to know about ETF, or you might have heard about ETF in lots of, nowadays lots of ads are there to create awareness about what is ETF. So simply we are having something as a gold ETF, we are having as a Nifty ETF. So just example, let's say if I am investing 1,000 rupees, I'm new to market, if I'm investing 1,000 rupees in Nifty ETF. So Nifty 50, you know what is Nifty 50 very well. So if I'm investing 1,000 or 10,000 rupees, so my entire amount will be invested in entire all the companies which are part of Nifty 50. Now tomorrow, Nifty 50, there is a set of company which is decided. We are deciding as an stock exchange which company should be part of Nifty 50. So now let's say there is a company, Himanshu Limited, which is part of Nifty 50. Now because of some reason I am not able to meet the criteria which is prescribed by stock exchange to be a part of Nifty 50. By default, they will take out my company and they will insert, let's say, Tejas Limited. I mean, they will remove my name. So your portfolio, let's say out of your 10,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees was invested in Himanshu Limited. So the time they will take out my name and insert another company or include another company as a Tejas Limited. So your portfolio, that 1,000 rupees will switch from Himanshu Limited to Tejas Limited. So that is the best part. Your money is safe. Okay, it's a safe way to start investing in capital market, where you don't have to put in much of brain. It is something which is already managed by on the basis of certain parameters. So by investing in Nifty 50, you can invest in all the 50 companies which are part of Nifty. Now mutual fund, gold ETFs are there. Now at high risk, we are having derivatives. You must be aware about F&O, future and options, and I'm sure that a couple of you might be actively trading in derivatives. But in derivatives, I must say, it is a risky product. We keep on, so NSE, we are having a subsidiary known as NSE Academy, where we keep on doing lots of events, MDPs, with starting with corporates, different, I mean, IMs, IM Bangalore, Ahmedabad, open MDPs are there. There we are having sometime people who are, there are certain brokers, they are joining quite a senior people. There are people who are there in market from 30, 40 years. Still they are saying even it's about derivatives or it's about options, we are still learning. Okay, there are more than, I'm not sure on it, but there are more than almost 150 different strategy in options. Okay, so when you are dealing in derivatives, make sure that you have done your homework in terms of knowledge, properly and take a baby step if you are not equipped with derivatives. Mutual fund, that I hope you are already aware. It's a again one of the best way to start investing in market. There is a transparency, liquidity, convenience. You can start with a small ticket size. There will be a diversification, well regulated, and moreover, it is professionally managed by the organization. ETF we have already covered. This is like a gold ETF. Now, again, in terms of gold, I would like to tell you, if the people who are frequently investing in gold. So when you are buying a physical form of gold, let's say you have bought, 100 gram, or let's say 1 kg or so, XYZ quantity of gold. So if I'm buying a physical form of gold, then apart from getting returns to it, there's an amount of money what I'm supposed to, what I'm supposed to pay to save my gold. That is known as your cost to carry. Okay, so again there is a pain. Okay, you have to open locker, or you have to always watchful. Okay, my gold is safe or not. So that's where there is something known as gold ETF, or your SGB, you might have heard, sovereign gold bonds. Okay, which is having backup of physical gold. So let's say if I'm investing in sovereign gold bonds, the best part is I will be getting returns in a same way, but I, rather than taking a physical form of gold, I am buying it in a dematerialized or paper form. Okay, now that gold will be having interest also. I will be getting 2.5% interest on annual basis, which will be giving you a half yearly on this, which will be given to you in half yearly basis. Let's say 1.25% they are giving on a 6 monthly basis. So 2.5% is the interest. And apart from that, your gold is always there. So whensoever you are planning to exit, so as per the given policies, you can exit as per your convenience. Now, when you are investing in market, being CA, you know better than me, you have to always look for safety, liquidity, safety, which means your money should be safe. You have invested in safe product. It's not about safe product, in fact, but the safety will come with a sort of a close tracking of your investment at a regular interval basis. Then liquidity, which means whensoever you are looking forward to exit, if there is a better liquidity, it will give you your money will be in your hand at a short duration, and there should be proper returns. Now this already I have told you. So this is like a risk and return parameter. So here, if you can see the high risk and high rewards, we have kept derivatives. So in derivatives, actually what happened when we are talking about our option, as you know, so let's say there is a probably there is a transaction worth of 100 rupees. So the best part is, in case of derivative, just by paying the premium, which is let's say 10 rupees, I can take part of in those transactions. Okay, so in fact, a couple of days back, somebody told me in one of the event, okay, I want to trade in derivatives because somebody, one of my friend told there is a good income, okay, in derivatives. So now, as a CA, you know better than me. Okay, it's like a easy way in. So at the very same time, the way out is also same. It's in the same ratio. So, but having said that, not demotivating somebody who's looking forward to start investing in derivative, but you should do your homework in terms of getting more grip on product side before taking a step towards investment in derivatives. Now, these are the couple of famous saying. I will just take a second one. So, if you are if you are not willing to invest in any company for 10 years, which means you are not willing to associate with any company for long term, you should not be there for with that particular company even for a minute. So do not invest in any company until unless you are not thorough, or you are not convenience, or you are not convinced with that particular company on the basis of their fundamentals. Okay, just by somebody saying something, don't do it. So in how this trading mechanism works, we are having active order, we are having passive order. So there are two type of order what we are having. So when we are talking about, let's say, active order, so what is active order? Let's say I have entered any trade in system. So at the very same time, I'm having counterparty also. So my trade will be executed. Okay. So that is something which is known as an active order. When any order enter into the system in the as an active order, and then and there I'm getting matched to it. And let's say if I'm putting any order in system and there is no counterparty, so my order will be known as passive order until unless it is not executed. Now, how it works? So when at stock exchange level, we are having something as a your price time priority. So for example, let's take Mr. Tejas and me. He have given, let's say, X quantity. He want to sell the shares of XYZ Limited X quantity at 100 rupees. I want to sell it at 90 rupees. Okay, so my price is better than him. His prices are a bit costly. So I will be getting preference. Now, another example, let's say we have given everything is same, company is same, prices are same, quantity is same. Now, at that point of time, system will check whose order came first. Okay, that is why it is known as price time priority, and accordingly your orders are being executed. Now, order type, there are three type of order. We are having market order, limit order, stop loss order. What is market order? Buy or sell orders are to be executed immediately at the current market price. So let's say if I'm having 100 share or 10 shares of maybe Wipro. Now, regardless of without any terms and condition, I'm willing to sell those orders. So whatsoever is the prevailing price, on that my transaction will be executed. Limit order. So let's say market is prevailing at for example 350 rupees, but I am willing to sell it at maybe at 352 rupees or 355 rupees. Okay, so if I'm putting that limit, so if market will touch that level, then my order will be executed. A specific price at which buy or sell of the order are executed. So I will put a condition to it. Now, what is stop loss? Let's say same scenario. I'm having shares of Wipro, which is the cost is 350. So I can put a stop loss, which means if market is falling down up to 310, till that level I'm willing to take loss. But if it is loss, which means till that level I'm willing to hold it. If it is falling more than that, then I will give a probably condition. If it is falling more than 310, then my order should be executed. That is like a stop loss. Okay, sell stop when prices falls below as stipulated level. Now, clearing and settlement. So clearing and settlement, as we have already told you, it's a part of our secondary market. So what happened? All the transaction which is done at primary market, NSCCL or our clearing corporation, their job is to settle those trade. It's like a guarantee which is given. So earlier post pre-NSE era, as you know, those things were not there. There was nobody to give a guarantee of your transaction. Lack of transparency was, there was a huge lack of transparency. People used to, the settlement cycle used to be more than sometimes 15 days also or so. Here the things are, after 1994, the things are quite easy. Just by sitting at your home, at your chair, you can do any sort of transaction on pan India or global level. Okay, that's the beauty. Today you don't go in outcry system is not there. You don't have to go at any physical place to buy or sell any shares. And this NSCCL, it's a completely a subsidiary of NSE. So now one of the important point. So I hope that there will be lots of CAs who are already active in market. Now, what happened when I'm even meeting with lots of CAs who are quite from quite some time, they are in market, but they are saying, okay, there was they are dealing with XYZ person. They are saying, okay, without my permission, my there was certain trade which is done, or they are having certain sort of grievances with the sort of member they are dealing with. So at SEBI or at NSC, we are having a completely dedicated team which is taking care of grievances. At your screen, you can see the flow. If you go to our website, under domestic investor, you are having something as a investor grievances resolution panel. You can go if you are feeling, okay, I'm being cheated, my trade or certain transaction took place without my permission or anything. So you are having an option, or this is your right, to go and raise a complaint. You can raise your grievances. Our team is always there to support and take a necessary action against whomsoever have done wrong practice. So that was basically about the session. Moreover, as a part of investor awareness program which I wanted to cover, at the very same time, I'll quickly take probably 10 more minutes to throw some light on a dedicated platform what we have, which I have already told you, okay, is going to be a part of my presentation as a how what is the opportunity for working professionals in capital market. So just to tell you, in global, the way we are having this, a main board where companies, let's say Wipro, L&T and all, they are listed. Okay, so what happened? In everybody knows when we are talking about SMEs, which is also coming as a which we called as a priority sector. Okay, they are playing a significant role in terms of the growth, GDP, exports. So what happened? And again, if you'll see the global market, so globally we are having stock exchanges which is having a separate platform for the listing of SME companies. Okay, so for example, if you talk about UK, we are having a platform known as your alternate investment market. Okay, then we are having in Hong Kong, we are having growth enterprise market. In Japan, we are having a platform known as Mothers. Okay, market of the high growth and emerging stocks. Singapore, we are having something as a catalyst. In China also, so likewise. So basically SEBI, they were also with internally or with government, they were in talks to have a separate platform for SME companies in India. So basically, SEBI came with a circular dated 18th May 2010, and then they gave a permission to stock exchange to set up a dedicated stock exchange or dedicated platform for the trading of for the trading of or listing of SME companies. Okay. So basically, post that NSC, we have launched a separate platform known as NSC Emerge, which was launched 13th March 2012. So okay, so yeah, so that this platform is known as NSC Emerge. Okay, this is a platform which is for SME listing. A company, let's say, which is coming under SME or mid corporate. Okay, they are having also options. So today, what we are seeing, if there is a good potential company, if they will approach their bank. So when we are talking about, let's say, something as a CGTMSE scheme and all, where companies can avail a loan up to 2 CR without collaterals. Earlier it was 1 CR, which is being extended to 2 CR. So now what happened, if there is a good potential company which is looking forward for fund of 10 CR, 20 CR, 30 CR, 40 CR and all. So if you are willing to raise those funds, so obviously your bank will ask for collaterals. Okay, that is something which is mandatory. So, and it is very much possible that there will be a good company, but they don't have a significant collateral to give or block their capital with their respective bank. So for them, this probably for a company which is transparent, which is looking forward for a better growth, for them this platform is there. So today these are the figures in front of you. At our Emerge platform, we are having this is a data till your October 2023. So basically 23rd of October 2020. So basically we are having almost 213 companies listed at our Emerge platform with a market cap of 12,800 CR. Now, total capital raised by all these companies is basically 3,257.4 CR. And the beauty is when we are talking about listing, I mean, today also, if being CA, if somebody will say, so probably the first thing which will come in our mind, okay, if I'm willing to, if I need 100 CR, 200 CR and all, then I will think about listing and all. It is not for my company. So just to tell you, at NSC, companies can raise as low as 4 CR. That's the minimum capital what companies can raise. Average issue size of this 213 companies is 15 CR, and there is no maximum. Okay, companies are raising 60 CR, 70 CR also. It directly depends on firstly what is the valuation you are able to get, and second one, how much what is the dilution you are doing. And we are having companies from different sectors, from pharma, automobile, and other. So there are different 19 sectors from which we are having companies at our Emerge platform. Now the best part is, if companies are going ahead for listing at main board, this sort of process these companies are supposed to go through, or what is the cost and other thing. So here, if companies are listed at our SME platform, a subject of being there for a period of 2 years, then companies are having option to migrate from SME to main board without any expenses or without any additional efforts. You have to just make sure that when you are migrating or when you are applying for migration, your paid up capital should be minimum 20 your paid up capital should be minimum 10 CR or more, and second one, your market cap should be 25 CR. Then simply you will take approval from 50 or more than 50 shares. I mean, more than 50 percent shareholders. I mean, basically the individuals who are having 50 or more than 50% shareholdings, they have to approve it, and simply you can apply in a stock exchange at no additional efforts. We will, if you are fulfilling these 2 to 3 minor things, you can easily smoothly migrate from SME to main board. Now, what is the criteria? So for listing, the one of the criteria is at main board. As you know, companies who are coming down for listing at main board, they need to have a minimum 1,000 allottees. Okay, but at SME platform it is 50. Okay, so here itself you can see a significant changes. Now this the promoters, they have to dilute minimum of 25% shares, which means I can, if I'm a owner of the company, I can hold maximum 75%, not more than that. 25% I have to dilute compulsory to the public. DRHP, draft red herring prospect, is going to be in same format, but only stock exchange observation, which means SEBI have given right to stock exchange for DRHP purpose. So normally at main board, your DRHP is being submitted to SEBI. SEBI will approve, and once they will approve, it will come to stock exchange. But at Emerge platform, it is directly coming down to stock exchange only. SEBI is not involved in that DRHP process. At main board, companies are doing IPO grading, which is not required at SME platform. Now here the best part is, you might be thinking, okay, at let's say when Tata or HDFC, AMC, or let's say SBI card, they came for listing, everybody was aware about organization. Okay, their IPO was, let's say, oversubscribed. But what if tomorrow Himanshu Limited is coming down for listing, where probably I'm doing good, pretty well, but in my industry I'm known. I'm a company which is having a turnover of, let's say, 30-40 CR, doing a decent business, a good transparency and all, but outside investors may not be knowing about my company. So what if after doing this entire process, my IPO is undersubscribed or it's failed? Okay, so here, as per SEBI norms, we are having 100% underwriting, which means there's no question of your IPO getting undersubscribed or getting failed. So there is a person, underwriter. Okay, so normally sometime your merchant banker, they themselves are working as an underwriter, or there is a dedicated person. as an underwriter. So as a process, if you are coming up with an IPO of let's say 10 CR, 5 CR or 50 CR, your IPO has to be successfully subscribed. It's a job of underwriter to get the investors for you or do the marketing of the company in a proper way. Now, there's another point. If okay, my IPO is successful, but what if tomorrow, as I'm new to market, I'm a small company, so nobody's aware about my company. So what if today, let's say I'm having XYZ person who have invested in my company, they wanted to exit, and if there is a liquidity issue, then investors are stuck. So for that, as per SEBI norms, there has to be a minimum 3 years market making. So for a period of 3 years, there is a market maker. His job is to provide a liquidity for your shares. Now, on top of that, when we are talking about post-listing compliance, here companies are supposed to do half-yearly or submission, basically half-yearly audited account instead of quarterly. At main board, you know it is quarterly, but at SME platform, it is not quarterly, it is half-yearly. When we are talking about let's say corporate governance norms is going to be same as main board. Okay. Now migration, already I told you, migration from SME to main board or main board to SME is allowed, subject of fulfilling those couple of terms and condition. And here, as per regulatory body, they want informed investors only to invest at SME platform, which means at SME platform, we are having your lot size. Okay. So when we are talking about lot size, so what happened at SME platform, companies can, if I'm willing to invest in any one of the company which is listed at, probably stock exchange. So the minimum investment will be 1 lakh. Either it will be 1 lakh or multiple of 1 lakh. So minimum trading lot is 1 lakh. If I want to apply for IPO, that will be 1 lakh. Okay. And nominated investors, even though there are lots of PE, QIBs and all who are basically investing in SME listed company through IPO route. So this is basically more about SME platform, how it works. Now, when we are talking about, let's say, what is the opportunity for working professional like you? So today, a CA who's having such a good knowledge, there are CA who are taking a directly merchant banking license from regulatory body. You can take a merchant banking license. Today, you know better than me on Pan India level how many SME companies are there. Okay, and I'm quite sure if we'll talk about, let's say, in Karnataka, you must be aware about lots of good potential companies who are operating. Okay, so there's a huge scope. So you can take a merchant banking license. If not, you can get yourself, you can play a role of market making. There's a process you have to go through. Now, IPO consulting services you can offer. So let's say there is a pool of good company in your connect. You can connect them with the right intermediary. You can guide them step by step as a lead manager. What is there at main board? There's a better and higher visibility for you as a working professional, because let's say if we'll talk about you can probably go through on SEBI's website. You will be having list of all the merchant bankers. Just see how many merchant bankers are there from who are having, let's say, presence. I won't say presence, but who's having a office in Karnataka, or let's say entire South if we'll talk about. So then you will came to know, okay, what is the sort of scope is there, and once you are in this business, what is sort of visibility you are getting as a consultant. Now you can get into the corporate governance services opportunity into investor portfolio. Tomorrow you can, it's the entire ecosystem. You will be having, let's say, underwriter. You will be having company. You will be connected. Let's say if you are not taking merchant banking license itself, you can directly get in touch with a merchant banker. You can work as a bridge between company and merchant banker. So it's like a good platform which is providing you a win-win situation to everyone. So that's it. That was a part of my presentation, which I wanted to say. If anybody is willing, they can directly get in touch with me. Anyway, Nayak sir, he is having my credentials. So as Tejas also told, in past we have done lots of events with his support. We will look forward to do many more events in coming future. And anyway, you can reach out to us whenever you wish to. With that, sir, I'll submit my presentation. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Himanshu Srivatsava. Very nice presentation on ecosystem of Indian capital market and career opportunities for professionals. Thank you very much. Now, over
Welcome,
to
sir.
our very sensational session, Mr. Mohit Mehra, investment opportunities in securities market. We are all aware, as I already told in my introductory, in spite of GDP is falling, share market is going up and up and up. Now, what is the secret in that? And many questions are also there. I request all the speakers to be there until end, so that last 15 minutes we can have 15-20 minutes we can earmark for question and answer. Our CA Prasanna Shenai, he will be the moderator. And over to our Mohit Mehra. We are all eager to listen to you. Thank you. You have to unmute. Unmute, please.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear.
Yeah, thank you, Naik ji. Thank you for the introductions you've done for everybody here today. I'll be sharing my screen now. So, just to like briefly introduce what I'm going to be talking about, uh, mostly I'll be covering the instruments that people can use to invest in the securities markets. I won't be going into the reasons why the stock markets have gone up, because that is best known to the gods of the markets. So, with that in mind, let's go forward with the presentation. So I wanted to like briefly, very briefly talk about how uh, what a demat account is. I mean, I'm sure that everybody here knows that, but still, just to like somewhat brush up, it's pretty much the same thing as holding a physical share. It's only that you hold it in an electronic format. And uh, like if you held a physical share, you had a physical folio of shares mapped to you. In this case, it's mapped to you in an electronic form. It would be, let's say, like keeping cash with you as opposed to keeping cash in your bank. The same thing is applying here. Only difference being that you hold ownership of the shares in electronic form. Now, since this is very rudimentary, I'll be skipping this and moving to what uses there are of a demat account. Now, most chartered accountants, they very often advise people on their personal finances, and they advise people on what the best tools that they have access to for um, investing generally, and especially in a given asset class. Now, at any given point, if somebody wants to invest in equities, uh, their CA can help them out with the tools. And if somebody wants to invest in fixed income, they can help them out with the tools. Similarly for real estate and gold. Um, what I wanted to highlight was all these four asset classes that somebody might want to invest in. They can use their demat account to do it. So equities, we are aware of that somebody, if they want to buy shares or sell shares, they can use their demat account. If they want to invest in fixed income securities, or let's say they want to make sure that they are preserving capital and they want to grow it, but they don't want to do an FD because the returns that they're getting there after tax are subpar, they can again make use of debt securities through the demat account ecosystem. Similarly, real estate people can invest in through a demat account. So now you've got something called a REIT, or a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. And these are listed securities which have real estate holdings as the underlying. and you can trade them in the secondary market like you trade shares. You can apply for them in a REIT IPO, and again, you can also invest in gold using your Demat account. So I'll be elaborating on each one in the subsequent slides. So for equities, I wanted to talk to everybody about um, the multiple modes that you can invest in. So you can invest in shares of the indices which are listed. You can shares in mid cap, small cap companies. You can diversify that way. Um, Himanshu, very briefly mentioned ETFs. So these are instruments which are like mutual funds, and the good part about them is that they have very low costs involved. So in case somebody wants to invest in just an index and wants to make sure that their investments are growing without much cost attributed to them, they can use an ETF to do that. And at the same time, they can invest in mutual funds through a Demat account as well. So there are two ways to invest in a mutual fund. One would be through a Demat account, and one would be through the non-Demat route. And the difference fundamentally lies in how you are tracking your portfolio. So if somebody wants to manage their entire portfolio together, they want to do it through, let's say, the depository or through their broker. They can uh, buy the mutual funds and keep them in the Demat account itself. It doesn't have to be in the non-Demat route, and they don't have to track it separately. And finally, there's this um, part where you apply for new issues or in the primary market using your Demat account. Now, again, Himanshu mentioned about how you can use ASBA to apply for an IPO. Now, there has been a recent development in the entire IPO application process where you can use UPI ASBA to apply for an IPO, and I'll be briefly talking about that. So, as opposed to just using ASBA, the authentication here when you're applying for an IPO using UPI is happening through your UPI app. So in case you're using any UPI app which is supporting this, you just need to go to your stockbroker's platform, make a electronic bid, and immediately you'll be getting a UPI request on your mobile app, and you can accept the request, and essentially the money will be immediately blocked in your account. Similar to ASBA, the money is not debited from your account until you actually get allotment. If you don't get allotment, the money will be released back to your account. So how does it exactly work, and what is the difference between a normal ASBA form that you might be using as opposed to applying through UPI? It's just much simpler. Uh, so I hope you can see both of these forms that I've juxtaposed here. So on the left, you've got an extract of the physical application form. Let's say you're using ASBA through your net banking facility. The information that you have to enter there is pretty similar. You have to enter like your Demat account details. You've got to enter the bid, the price at which you want to apply, the category of the investor that you are, and so on. And these details, if there's any mistake that you make, these applications are liable to get rejected because the entire process happens like 6 days before the company gets listed. So within the 6-day period, the registrar and transfer agent is checking the applications. They are checking if the money is blocked correctly. And all of this, because it's happening so fast, there's no back and forth available here. So you submit an application. If something was wrong, it'll just get rejected. As opposed to if you're applying through your stockbroker, and if you're doing it online. So what's happening here is, since the details you've already given to your stockbroker when you've opened your account with them, you've already done your KYC with them, you've already done all the documentation that you require to in order to open the account, they have that information mapped to you. Now, all you need to tell them is at what rate you want to buy or participate in the IPO, and the quantity at which you want to like the quantity which you want to take up in the IPO. So once you give them that information, they'll submit the bid to the exchanges, and immediately you're getting UPI request on your app. Now, there's a screenshot that I've added here. This is from the Beam UPI app. In case you are using Beam, you'll be getting a screen like this. In case you use a different app, the screen would be very similar. You select the IPO option, you go to the mandates which might have come to your phone, and then you proceed. Once you proceed, you'll find that you'll be able to enter your UPI pin like you do when you make any UPI transaction, and that's about it. So it's essentially just you apply on the broker's platform and you accept the request, and the application is done. So it's pretty simple nowadays. There are a few things that you might need to consider, or you might want to advise your clients to consider when somebody is asking you on how to invest in an IPO. Is the apps that they have, they should support this process, and the banks that they have their account with should also support the process. Now, how would somebody get to know if the app or the bank that they have their account with is supporting the process? uh, National Payments Corporation of India, they have their website where they're maintaining the list of both the UPI apps and the banks which support the UPI IPO process. Now, in case there's a new investor or anybody who wants to avail this facility without going through the hassles of ASBA, they can just check that list, and if their bank and their app is on the list, they can make use of it. Now, moving forward to how the process works, in case you want to know. So what's happening here is there are multiple intermediaries involved. Some of these intermediaries we've already spoken about. Himanshu and Tejas have spoken about these capital market intermediaries. You'll find them here in this process. So here's the investor. He places the bear on the stockbroker's platform. It goes to the stock exchange. The stock exchange checks whether the PAN and the demat account, they are both the same. So as in the demat account has a PAN mapped to it already, and the investor's PAN is also being sent by the stockbroker. So the depository will let the stock exchange know if the PAN that is sent by the stockbroker is matching the PAN in the demat account. Now, once that validation is done, the stock exchange will send this instruction to the sponsor bank or the bank which is collecting the payments from the investors on behalf of the issuing company. So this is the issuing company's bank, and they take this instruction from the stock exchange, they send it to the UPI through this NPCI mechanism that they have built for the process. And once it is on your UPI app and you've confirmed the PIN, and the investor's bank, which would be your bank, confirms the PIN, this again comes back to the stockbroker, and you would get to see on the platform that you have successfully accepted the mandate. Now, what other intermediaries are involved in the process? It would be the issuing company, whose shares are being issued in the IPO. There would be a merchant banker. The merchant banker, like Himanshu spoke about, uh, directs the entire uh, IPO process. So in case if this were a film, let's say, so the merchant banker would be the director, and all these other intermediaries would be playing their role. Now the registrar and transfer agent is performing some functions here as well. So what they do is when the applications are collected by the entire setup, these applications are sent from the stock exchange and the sponsor bank to the registrar and transfer agent. They see how many applications have come in. They see how many shares have to be allotted, and they perform a lottery if required, if there are more applicants than there are shares to be allotted. And once they do this, they announce it to the investors. So this was the entire IPO process. It has become simple for the investor because there's this new mechanism available, and there are some recent developments on it. Uh, just um, apart from equities, you can also, let's say, from next year, once the uh, intermediaries involved have placed the required infrastructure in place, use the same setup for applying for debt issues. So you won't just be able to apply for a equity IPO through the UPI process. You will also be able to apply for a debt market bond issue or a GSEC issue using the same setup. Now, the things that you check before you apply for any IPO, regardless of the method you're using, be it UPI, be it ASBA, is you check um, the particulars of the issue. Like Himanshu said that you check the offer document and you check if you're using UPI, if your bank is supporting it, if your UPI app is supporting it. And finally, there's this interesting bit that you'll find on the stock exchange's website, be it on BSE or NSE. So here's an extract from NSE's website. Um, and this is showing the demand data for one of the IPOs on NSE's website. And let's say you want to figure out if you should be applying for it or not. There are multiple things that you would be looking at. And one of the things that you might want to look at is how many people are applying for it. Now, in case you want to look at this information, you go to the website of the stock exchange and you just check out how many times the institutional investor category is subscribed for, how many times is the HNI category subscribed for, and then the retail category and the overall subscription also you can find here. So apart from that, there are other websites that you can refer to. You can go to your stockbroker's website and they'll have some information on the IPO process for you. You can go to NPCI's website and check the relevant details there if you're using UPI. You can go to the exchange's website and like check information about the IPO which is ongoing there. And again, you can go to SEBI's website and you'll find the prospectus, you'll find the other offer documents on SEBI's website as well. Now, moving to the other modes that you've got available when it comes to investing using a Demat account, the other asset classes that you can use it for. So,
Mohiji, sorry to interrupt. As you have well explained in a quite a good manner about UPI, so just wanted to check one thing. There is any limit up to which we can or individual can invest in using UPI?
Yeah, so this UPI IPO process, thank you for pointing that out, Himanshu, is only for retail investors. So in case you want to use it, you'll only be able to use it up to 2 lakh rupees of applications. In case you want to apply for a value which is higher than 2 lakh rupees, in that case, you're not a retail investor anymore. You apply in the HNI category and the UPI mechanism is not available for you. In that case, you can apply using ASBA. So coming back to the uses of a Demat account, now we've covered equity for the most part, and I think there's this basic understanding that all of us have, that if you have a Demat account, you use it to buy and sell shares. But apart from buying and selling shares and investing in ETFs and mutual funds, you can also invest in fixed income through your Demat account. So sometimes you might want to make sure that the tax liability that you are incurring is appropriately managed. So in case you are investing in an FD instrument, it would be taxed a certain way. In case you're investing in a debt mutual fund, it will be taxed a certain way. Again, because this is a gathering of all chartered accountants, you would be in a good position to already know this. Now, there are multiple types of fixed income instruments available. One would be a mutual fund, one would be an ETF, and then there would be bonds and debentures that you can buy. These are listed instruments when it comes to ETFs and bonds and debentures. Mutual funds may not be always listed unless they are ETFs. So in case you're investing in an ETF, you can directly do it through your stockbroker. You can buy an ETF or sell an ETF exactly like you buy or sell shares through your stockbroker. And bonds and debentures as well. There can be corporate bonds or government bonds which you can buy on the stock exchange platform. And These allow you to directly lend to corporates, directly lend to the government, and manage your portfolio that way. So in case you find an HDFC fixed deposit rate that you're getting from the bank is 6%, 7%, and you're getting the same company, the same bank uh, uh, providing debentures to you at a higher rate, there would be like risks associated with it, which would be different. But then you can make that choice. So these are tools which are available to you, and depending upon how you want to manage your risk and what you want to do with the, the opportunities available, you can pick the instrument you want. So again, coming to real estate investing through a demat account. Now, last year we had the first REIT issue in India, which was Embassy, and we've also had Mindspace REIT issued this year. And what do these REITs do? These are again uh, entities that pool money, and this pooled money they invest in a real estate opportunity that they have. So it could be a mall, it could be an office park, it could be any commercial venture that they could be earning rent from, and they pass it on to you as dividends from time to time. At any given point, if you want to buy a REIT or sell a REIT, you can do it again directly on the stock exchanges platform through your stockbroker. And these are traded every day like stocks trade. Now, moving on to gold and how you can invest in gold using your demat account. So there are multiple ways to invest in gold right now. You can invest in gold using like physical gold. You can invest in it using electronic modes, which would include mutual funds, ETFs, um, or you can use sovereign gold bonds as well. Now, we'll take a very small example here just to find out what the difference would be in each setting. If you are investing in physical gold, the cost associated with it would include the making charge, the cost of carrying the physical gold. Let's assume the making charge and all of that is 5%, which is a fair assumption. Um, if you buy gold worth rupees 1,000, and throughout the year the gold price stays the same, does not change at all. At the end of the year, you've essentially got gold worth rupees 950 if you assume a 5% making charge on the cost. At the same time, if you are using ETFs to invest in gold, the cost is slightly lower. If you're using a mutual fund to invest in gold, the cost is around that mark. 1,000 rupees worth of gold invested at the beginning of the year might incur a cost to you of 5 rupees or 10 rupees if it's a ETF or a mutual fund. Now, at the same time, if you're investing in, let's say, a sovereign gold bond, now these are issued by the RBI, and the government is guaranteeing returns which are equal to the price of gold. And at the same time, the government also provides 2.5% interest on the gold issue price, which is payable to you semi-annually. So twice a year, they pay out this interest. 1,000 rupees worth of SGBs bought, let's say at the beginning of the year, gold prices haven't changed at all. You get this 2.5% benefit. So you've made 25 rupees there. And at the same time, there's also a discount that you get when you apply for SGBs online through the demat route, which is generally 50 rupees on the issue price. So just to recap, if you have invested in gold physically, you have lost 50 rupees, you have 950 rupees worth of gold at the end of the year. If you've invested in gold through a mutual fund or ETF, you have lost 5 or 10 rupees, depending upon the cost that you're bearing for the mutual fund managing your gold investment. And if you've invested in SGBs on the other hand, and all else remains equal and nothing changes and the gold price is fixed, you've actually made some money there. Apart from that, there are tax benefits here. Investing in SGBs might be a nicer long-term instrument, because if you are invested in it for 8 years, you don't have to pay LTCG on it. Now, you might want to invest in ETFs because you have a shorter term uh, interest in gold. You might not want to be invested in it for the longer term. So it's a better instrument for shorter durations because there's more liquidity there. SGBs or sovereign gold bonds don't have as much liquidity. So we're quickly recapping the entire bit. Um, One, you invest in various asset classes using a demat account. You invest in equities, fixed income, real estate, gold, and everything you do it using a single demat account. You don't need to maintain separate accounts for it. Again, at the same time, your details are uniformly available across all your investments. So when you are doing nominations for any of your investments individually, you'll have to keep track of them individually. Here, what happens is if you update your contact details or your nomination or your KYC details only once with your broker or the depository participant, it gets updated across all your asset classes. So let's say you hold shares of 10 companies, you hold mutual funds from 3 AMCs, you have a real estate investment trust holding, you have invested in multiple ETFs. All of this can be separately tracked if you don't have them in the same demat account, or if you do, then it becomes much more easier. And at the same time, just to conclude, you also get a single dashboard across your investments, so you don't have to manually like go and get entries from different sources to make your accounts. You get it all in the same place, be it in the form of a consolidated account statement or be it in form of a broker's or a stockbroker's report that you have generated. So becomes slightly easier. I think we've still got a lot of time. I've gone through the presentation really fast. So if there are any questions, I'll be like open to taking them, either for me or for the other presenters today. So somebody has raised their hand.
Mr. Prasanna Shene. Prasanna.
Mr. Prasanna, yeah.
Prasanna Shene, our moderator.
Oh, okay. Hey, hi, Prasanna.
Hello.
There are a couple of questions. Shall I read them out?
Okay.
So there are some questions from Prajwal.
I'll read them out, sir.
Cool.
The first one from Prajwal Pai. Speaking about the investors' protection, the ones who invested in the shares of Lakshmi Vilas Bank have lost all the money they have put into those shares. What's your opinion about this?
So the opinion would be, so this is something that has happened because the bank had some liability and asset mismatches, and just to make sure that the money of the deposit holders does not like get hampered or does not go away, RBI has taken this step. This is being disputed in the courts, the entire writing off. The merger will still happen with DBS Bank, but this we'll have to see what happens in this case.
The next one from Mr. Muralidhar Shanai. Recently, NSE has expelled Kavi broking. Can you please throw some light? One second. Can you please throw some light on the incident which led NSE to sack them?
Himanshu, you want to take this, or like if you want, I can answer this as well.
Yeah, I think it was
See,
posted when Himanshu sir was conducting the session. That's
yeah,
posted
yeah,
at 4:42 p.m.
That is for Himanshu, it seems, that question.
yeah. So
Where is
I
Himanshu?
would, yeah. So basically, sir, I would just on this, I would just like to say one thing. So for everybody, for broker, for corporates who are listed at stock exchange, for each and everyone, we are having certain guideline in place. So if any one of the broker, they are not meeting as per the what criteria we have, or any one of the corporate, they are not complying with our norms of listing. So then, as an stock exchange, we have to take a required step to whether it is corporate or whether it's broker. So the same thing, something on a very same line happened in the case of the broking firm you are referring, and because of which NSC we have taken that step.
Now, what is wrong with that? You have to analyze now.
Sir,
Mr.
I won't be.
Himanshu, you are addressing to chartered accountants. Please elaborate.
Yeah. So, sir, I won't be in a position to comment on that. I'm sorry, but as per best of my knowledge, what I know, yes, there are certain guidelines what they were not following.
That is a very simple question. Simple answer.
Uh,
Mr. Mehra, can you just throw a light because you are an analyst?
yeah. No, sir. I mean, I'm sure you would know more, but whatever I know of, I'll share. So, Carvey had was using the holdings of their clients, which they had in the pool account, to raise more funds, and were using these to like trade, and they lost this money. And at the same time, these securities of the clients, which were supposed to be in the beneficiary accounts of the specific clients, was not kept that way there. So now being pledged off, and then funds were raised against that. It was not very simple for the exchange also to track in real time. And as soon as this was brought into light, SEBI, the exchanges, everybody took action. And as much as it could be remedial, it was made remedial. What could not be remedial, uh, uh, again, like in time we'll find what
Now, to
all
whom to believe now? Whom
punitive
to
action
believe
can be
now?
taken.
Now, even demat shares also. Now, many depositories
No.
are
So
there. How to?
yeah. So what
How,
the difference here is that in case the shares are in your demat account, not in the pool account of the stockbroker, then you can verify this from a third party, which is the depository itself. In case the shares have been moved out from the pool account of the broker, you have no visibility in it. The stockbroker, if they're telling you that you have shares in your account, but I am keeping them with me. So let me give you an example there. Let's say there's somebody who manages your investments for you, and when they're managing your investments for you, they keep all the money in your bank account itself. Now let's say tomorrow you fire them, they're no longer your manager. You can still go to your bank and you can check, keep my money is there. On the other hand, if the manager is saying that give me the money from your bank account, I will keep it in my bank account, then that becomes a difficult challenge for you to follow. And you should not even do that. You should not keep money in somebody else's bank account. Same with securities as well. So if you're keeping the securities in the pool account of somebody else, then it becomes a challenge for you. So now we have got more stringent guidelines after Karvi, that the brokers have to keep the shares in the demat account of the investors themselves, and pledging also has changed how it happens. Earlier, how pledging used to happen was the client would give the shares to the stockbroker, and the stockbroker would then pledge and repledge to the clearing corporation. In today's scenario, the pledging happens from your demat account itself. So you pledge to the stockbroker repledges it to the clearing corporation. In this case, there's a proper trail of transactions maintained. You know where your money has gone, where your money has come from. So it's a better process now.
Just to add, as I have already covered it as a part of my presentation, in case of, let's say, again, Carby itself, if any one of you are having any sort of dispute, I've shown you the channel. I'll request you to please raise it. Don't wait for situation to settle down by its own. Raise it. There is a body dedicated team, or you can raise it to stock exchange. You can approach to SEBI also, and it will be taken care.
So the next question is from Prithvishri Kamath. Recently, index funds have become very popular in India. Should investors consider this and shift towards a passive investing style instead of investing in an actively managed fund that has a higher expense ratio? I think this was posted to Mr. Mohit at 5:30.
So, great question, Prasvi. Thanks for asking this. So, you have a very valid question. Now, what I can answer with is my opinion. I would have the same opinion as you are inclined to have, I think, from the way that you've like posed your question. Uh, it makes more sense for somebody to invest passively because the cost of investing passively is much lower, and there are statistics and data to just check if that has worked in the in historical settings, and it has. Anybody who has been actively managing funds, they might not have an edge as like in a bigger set. Yeah. But in case somebody like completely believes that there's a portfolio manager who can like help them get better returns, more alpha, they can take that call themselves. But in general, without like giving thought, without having to find good portfolio managers for you, is it a good idea to simply invest in ETFs and invest passively using index funds? I think it is. Uh, because you're paying lower, you know that if India grows, your index fund will grow as well with it. And if you are investing in like a thematic index fund, let's say pharma, banking, whatever, you're also assured that if the general industry performs well, your index fund will perform well with it.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't answer the question. I mean, regarding the Karvi thing. So, I was not getting the access. So, we are launched this PDA. What I was talking about, the services of NSDL as a depository, as a client. No, this PD services. So, if you don't give the power of photo, you can use these services where the demat. I mean, the securities will be lying in your demat itself. So you have the facility to trade the securities to the broker's account. So initially, if you give the power of attorney, the brokers or DPs will have that facility to have that transferring the securities. But here you don't give that authority to the broker. You will have that own authority. So in this way, you can use the depository services by keeping this speedy and then transferring your securities virtually over the internet, and this doesn't happen henceforth. So you will have the right to keep the securities with you in your demat account, and you can see the what is it, the accounts stand securities in your demat account itself.
Okay, if anybody has any more questions, can please post it in the chat box.
I have one question. Mr. Mohit Mehra. Now, there are three types of share market investments. One is direct investment by ourselves. We can make day-to-day trading or investment. Second one is we can invest in mutual fund. Third one is portfolio management. This in portfolio management, lot of disadvantages are there. When we give money, they will invest in particular stocks only. Even the market increase the shares which they have bought. If suppose there is no rise, then change of those stocks also difficult, because again we will lose money. In case of mutual fund, they will make good by additional investment and other things. Now, can you just throw light on this portfolio investment versus mutual fund versus our direct transactions in the market?
So, portfolio investments, if you're giving money to somebody, it can be through two channels. It can be either through a portfolio management service company, or it can be through a hedge fund, which is a category 3 AIF. Now, the only difference between the two is that the category 3 AIF can deal in derivatives with more fervor, and PMS is somewhat restricted in terms of dealing with derivatives and all. So, and there's also a ticket size limitation. If you're giving money to somebody to manage and they are a PMS, they can take 50 lakh rupees or more. They cannot take less than that. And if you're giving money to a hedge fund or a category 3 AIF, they can take 1 crore rupees or more. Now, is it like does it make sense for somebody who has a lot of money to invest in mutual funds or directly in equities, or does it make more sense for them to have somebody manage their portfolio for them? Now, what is happening here is, let's say I'm a small investor, and I have found a mutual fund which caters to my need somewhat. It's like buying ready-made clothing. So I go and I buy ready-made clothing. It fits me. If I don't like it, I go to a different shop. I buy it from there. I'm a very rich person. I have a lot of money. I want my clothing to be tailored to me, and I want it to be very nicely tailored. I'll get somebody who is a expert in the field, who is a fashion designer, something, and then I'll get them to tailor this uh, my clothing for me. Similarly, the tailor here is the portfolio manager. He's tailoring it to suit your needs exactly. Now, these are instruments for two different types of people. Not everybody would go to a tailor. Not everybody would buy from a ready-made clothing store. And in case you're trying to decide whether or not you should go to one or the other, you figure out what works for you. So if you think that you need somebody to actively manage your funds that way because you have very different interests, or you have different requirements, then you go to a specific portfolio manager. But in case you think that the general thing will work for you because it works for mostly everybody else, then you can either use mutual funds which actively manage money, or you can use passively managed funds which again work the best in terms of at least retail in the retail segment. Does that answer the question for the most part, or?
Yeah, now as big portfolio people, you told that it's like a tailor. You
Yeah.
have given stitching of pants, but they have stitched already shorts. What to do?
If the stitching is short, you change your tailor. So
That, already we lost, no?
no. So yeah, so that risk is there. I mean, it is possible that when you go to somebody for the first time, they might not suit your temperament. Same goes for a chartered accountant as well. If I'm a client of a chartered accountant and the advice that the CA is giving me, it's not working for me, I'll probably stop working with him eventually and work with somebody else. And it's mostly interpersonal as well. People understand others' risks. It's like making a friendship happen. So for the most part, investing as well, if somebody understands your needs, you do it through them that way. If you are fine with pre-made ready-made products, you invest that way. And pre-made ready-made products right now, there are so many choices, so you won't be limited by choices. Portfolio managers 20 years ago, 30 years ago might have offered you more. Today, again, if it's just returns that you believe that somebody can get you can go to them. Otherwise, in terms of tools that you have access to, uh, investing in real estate directly through a demat account, investing in gold directly through a demat account, everything you can do by yourself now.
Now our GDP last consecutive 2 quarters, it is a negative.
Yeah.
In spite of that, and banking stocks, some banking stocks, there is a surge in the price of
Yeah.
banking stocks.
Right.
You know, now banking, as per the RBI prediction itself, next year the NPA may rise to 10 to 12%. Then
Right.
how it will, and this year RBI has restricted banks to pay dividends also. In such cases, whether these bank stocks are advisable to invest or better to divest.
Since you're a chartered accountant and a master of balance sheets and financial reports, I should be asking the question to you. But still, I think I have my take on it. I mean, at any given point, nobody can predict the future. and we've been seeing this entire year. So there
The
have been.
windfall profit will not be there now in banking industry.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
In banking industry, windfall profit may not be there, but windfall losses will be there because of NPA increase.
So there have been banks which have done like exceptionally well. So HDFC, anybody who was an investor in HDFC has made a windfall year on year. Every year they've made like great returns. And at the same time, because it's very difficult to predict what will happen next, why even take a call when you're not in a position to? So if you are an expert in a given sector, you take a call on that sector. If you're not an expert on a given sector, you invest passively using an index fund. If you still want an opinion in terms of whether or not banks will do well, or whether the economy will do well, there are so many factors right now at play which are not even financial in nature. So the factors right now could be political, could be health issues, could be multiple things which no one person is an expert of. So various experts might want to come together, figure out what's happening in each of their fields, and then give an opinion that way.
Now index is already reached now Sensex 40.
All-time highest.
In
Yeah.
spite of that, our strong stocks like ITC and
Yeah.
our LNT, why there is
Correct.
no substantial increase in their
So these are all results of the pure demand and supply market play. If somebody thinks that the stock is going to go up and they believe in the stock, they start buying, the price goes up. After the price doesn't go up or goes down, we formalize a rationalization that, acha, this is what happened in the past, and this is the reason why the stock price did not go up or did not go down. But for the most part, if let's say investors of ITC don't think that the cash flow is being managed well, or if investors of LNT think that the prospects of the company, because infrastructure spending might be reduced, is limited, it's dependent on the sentiment of the market. Now, in the last 20 years, you might have found that there have been 3-4 people who have been psychologists who have won the economics Nobel Prize. Now, a psychologist winning the economics Nobel Prize, what does that say? It's a very significant factor in any market. If people act a certain way, prices can shoot up to the moon. If people act a certain way, prices can fall down to the trenches. And there's no rational explanation for it.
now retail investors, especially, I am worried about retail investors because of falling interest trend in case of banks and debt funds and all. So they tend to invest more in share markets.
Yeah.
So now, as per the latest statistics, more than 54% of the investment in market is from retail investors. Is it not a matter of concern? What is your piece of advice for these retail investors? How to go about
The
it?
the turnover generally that has happened earlier is similar now. I mean, in terms of like the broader market turnover, and I think Himanshu would be in a better place to answer that. Mostly the turnover is from institutions, then it's HNI's proprietary trading, and then retail forms a small part of it. Now, has the interest of retail investors gone up? Yes, it has gone up. Have there been more people investing in the markets? Yes, there have been more people investing in the markets. But institutional buying has also gone up. So you might have found that more foreign institutions are buying into India right now. On the other hand, retail investors and domestic institutions in the past month have sold shares and sold their securities. So they have come in March, they've bought shares in the lowest price possible, and they've sold shares at the all-time high. So this year, at least, I mean, I'm sure even your clients, you would have anecdotally found that people have made generally a lot of money in the markets, and it might have been at the cost of foreign institutional investors, because in March, who was selling? FIIs were selling. Right now, who is buying? FIIs are buying. So domestic institutions, retail investors, they've made some money in the entire run that has happened. And the savings interest rate and the fixed deposit interest rates being lower, uh, that's again, a concern for institutions as well, because a lot of money that is kept in the banking system is kept by corporates and kept by large companies. If the rates that they're getting there is much lower, the treasury operations would change to a different setting altogether. So it won't be just one dimensionally retail investors who would be coming into the market. It would be the entire spectrum coming together, which is what is happening now. The yields have dropped everywhere across the world, negative of, like in a lot of places. And in India, they're like recently you might have read some articles where the call money transactions happened at 0.01%. So overnight funding was being done at close to zero, and that has not really happened in India. So there's a lot of liquidity right now slushing around, and maybe that could be the reason why the stock markets are hitting the all-time highs. There's one more statistics I wanted to add to this. Um, in the first quarter of this year, financial year, from April onward, RBI issued this metric where they found that savings bank accounts and retail bank accounts essentially had 20% more savings in them. So people have been saving more as well. Now they've not been spending money. The current account like situation is much better with India. We have a surplus. So I'm not sure exactly what is happening. I mean, everybody is like very clueless about the entire situation where it will go.
Current account of India is good, but current account of businessman is converted into OD and ECGL now.
That's true. I mean, it's a very dire situation that we are in. I mean, nobody has seen this.
One
Maybe
more question.
yeah.
One more question I would like to pose. These banking stocks, we might
Yeah.
have seen Axis Bank, there is a surge. Then ICICI Bank, there is a surge. Kotak
Yeah.
Bank, there is a surge. Then your HDFC Bank, also there is a surge. State Bank of India, also there is a surge. But our private sector strong bank like Karnataka Bank, why still it is less than 50 rupees? It was once upon a time 120, 130 rupees.
Yeah.
So paying a very good dividend regularly around 35%. So why it is still not going upwards?
It's a sentiment, sir. So now there are multiple ways that people talk about investing. Some people talk about value fundamental investing. Some people talk about momentum investing. Generally, when it comes to sentiment of the markets, momentum works. So if something people believe in, they start buying, it keeps going up, and then you'll ask you, why is it so high now? Why is it 400 now? Again, it's very difficult to predict when that will happen and what is going on in the underlying. But again, it would be chartered accountants, it would be like your community, which who would be able to throw more light on
Chartered
the entire
accountants
financial
value
situation.
the book value and intrinsic value we can tell, but your share market price is not enough.
No. So yeah,
EPS we can tell. We
yeah,
can talk about book value, we can talk about other value, but we cannot talk about your stock market values.
yeah. No, nobody can talk about it. It's mostly behavioral in nature. So people are trying to figure out like the entire scenario from like ages, I'm sure, and nobody has the answer.
Now, suppose I have a crore of rupees. Okay, which are all the stocks I can invest? Next year I can make more money, lot of money.
No, sir. I mean, no tips and no recommendations, sir.
Not
But
Sir, in the stock market, no, in the stock market, they say don't be so greedy. If you have enough money, then you should not be so greedy, sir.
Then, Prasanna Shene, anything to say?
Yes, there's one more question from the audience. The question is from Tristan Sequeira. Why is it important to invest early, especially for youngsters? The question is for Mohit.
hey, hi Tristan. I mean, thanks for this. So again, you know compound interest and how that works. And let's say you start investing really early in life. Let's say you're 20 and you start investing, and as opposed to you're 30 when you start investing. So 1 lakh rupees invested when you are 30 years old. In by the time you're 40, it would be around at 10%, let's say per annum, would grow to 3 times, I think. So, and at the same time, if you are investing from like an earlier age and you're 20 and you invest the same amount, the money will grow much higher. It'll be around just back of the hand calculation. Mm, about 8 times, if I'm not wrong. I mean, if somebody could like calculate and find out. So this very simple like metric, using the same amount of money, if you just make a habit of it early on, um, it's much nicer. And I think your question, for the most part, answers itself that it is somewhat important, because if you start early, you're able to like save more money, and your financial goals get completed much earlier in life.
And just to add one thing, I mean, somebody at the age of 20 versus somebody at the age of, let's say, 30 or 40. Obviously, the guy who's at the age of guy or girl at the age of 20 or 30 or 20, their risk-taking capability will be much more in compared to the person who's at the age of 30 or more, because they are not having any, if we'll talk about the liabilities and all. So probably they are having much more time in their hand to invest, to learn, to do experiment, versus a person probably who's already somewhere at the age of 30. I mean, Warren Buffett, he keep on saying when he started, you can check it. So yes, I mean, obviously, as soon as you will start, it is good for you.
So, as some prominent person said, I mean, eighth wonder of the world is would be the power of compounding. Power of compounding would be as we see the historical trends of the capital market, you see more power of compounding happening in this market.
Even Albert Einstein also told regarding compounding. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't understand pays it. Prasanna, any
Yes,
question?
sir. Shall we move on to the last session, vote of thanks? I think, Hasta, do we have any other questions?
If anybody has any questions, can still ask, or if anyone has anything to add on.
Yeah, it is time to wrap up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I guess that's the end of the question and answer session and the end of yet another very successful webinar. I owe a heap of gratitude to all of you present here, because without this, it wouldn't be a grand success. We have with us our treasurer, CA Prasanna Shanai, who will formally propose the vote of thanks. So over to you, Prasanna.
Yeah, thank you, Hasta. So good evening, everyone. First of all, on behalf of the Mangalore branch of SIRC of ICAI, I wish everyone who participated in this the virtual meeting a very happy World Investor Week. So we have heard various technical sessions on the investment segment by stalwart resource persons in their respective area of profession. The sessions were very knowledgeable to upgrade our skills to suit the opportunities available in the investment sector. Being chartered accountants, we are only used to see the financials, and as Naik sir said, we are used to see only the book values and intrinsic values rather than seeing the market prices. So so coming to the end of today's virtual meeting, I would like to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the Mangalore branch. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Mohit Bhatia, Head Sales and Marketing, Canara Robeco Mutual Fund, Mumbai, for taking time out of his busy schedule and joining us today as the chief guest during the inaugural session. So thank you, Mr. Mohit Bhatia. I thank Mr. Tejas N, the Assistant Manager, NSDL Karnataka, for joining us as a resource person for this VCM and enlightening us on the topic Introduction to Securities Market and Demat of Shares. So thank you, Tejas, for joining us today. I thank Mr. Himanshu Srivastav, Manager, Business Development, South Region, NSE, for joining us as a resource person for this VCM and enlightening us on the topic ecosystem of Indian capital market and career opportunities for the professionals. So, which has been a very useful session for professionals. And most of the professionals or the chartered accountants ignore this segment, being in a profession like or a practicing profession. So I would like to thank Mr. Mohit Mehra, the business analyst, Zerodha Broking Limited, for joining us as a resource person for this VCM and enlightening us on the topic investment opportunities in securities market. And he has answered almost all the questions of our chairman, sir. So special thanks to Mohit for positively answering all the questions. So finally, this VCM is successful only because of the professional efforts put forth by our own members and students as functionaries for handling the sessions. So I would like to thank my friend and fellow colleague, CA Soumya Kamath, for joining us today for the prayer. I would also like to thank my friend and fellow colleague who has been very supportive and active in all the activities of Mangalore branch, CA Hasta, for joining us today as a Master of Ceremony. I would wish to recognize the contribution of Miss Anju Manoj, presently pursuing her CA course and undergoing articleship with our chairman, CA SS Naik, for introducing the chief guest as well as the resource person. So I would like to thank the technical team of A1 Logics for smoothly carrying out this virtual session. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the members, students, and all the industry participants and general public at large who have been the participants for today and who have joined us as an audience for today's sessions.
Even in YouTube also, anywhere in YouTube.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us opportunity to interact with all of you, and we would love to meet with you on a one-to-one session down the line, whensoever it is convenient.
Definitely.
So, thank you, Naik sir.
Thank you to Prasanna too.
ICAI.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tejas.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Naik ji, for the interaction. Thank you,
Hasta, very nice.
Hasta.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Very nice comparing today. Mohit Mehra is a very smart player because all these
No.
questions very tactfully answered.
No. It was great interacting with you today. So we've been doing some webinars here and there, but this was like by far the nicest one that I've like been a part of. Thanks.
Very true.
Thank you.
Very true.
Thank
Good
you.
session. Thank you.
Thank you.